Alright, it's time for another week of ZTGD Radio. This is episode 824 for December 9th, 2024. And everybody can just turn off now. It's just me and Anthony.
It's the Unlistenable show, yep. Just Ken and I.
Yeah, Wombat's doing holiday shit. And I don't know what Terrence is doing.
Terrence is busy. I don't remember what he said exactly, but he's like, I'm not going to be on the show. I'm like, all right.
He's mad because of Marvel Rivals. That's what it is.
Sure.
Because I was getting MVP in all the matches last night. That's what it was. Anyway, it's going to be a fun week. The Game Awards are this week. And
wow, hold on. Color me impressed. Oh, wait, I don't give a shit.
I don't care about the Game Awards. I don't
even care about the announcements. I will read them somewhere else.
Well, I understand that. I'm not necessarily excited to... Well, I'll watch the show because that's who I am. But, yeah, I get it. Like, those are what's exciting about it because, yeah. That show is...
Like,
something.
I would actually like to honor... game developers, Jeff Keighley. His name is his last name starts with the same two
don't
letters.
Confuse me with him, please.
No, it's not even that. My brain is elsewhere. My email was asking me to sign in, and I'm like, what? I've never have to sign in. So, yeah, brain, two different things at the same time, and all the fucking wires got crossed. Keighley doesn't care about that. Keighley cares about lining his pockets. I mean, just look up how much it fucking costs to get a fucking ad. Right? Yeah. Like, I just don't care anymore. Like, again, I'll just read what's announced. I don't care about the musical interludes except for that one guy who rocks.
Flute Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Flute Guy's go. Imagine if Flute Guy plays with Snoop Dogg.
Hold on. I have to look up his name. Pedro Eustache?
Yeah, I think it's Eustache.
I apologize, Pedro, if I pronounced your name wrong, but you are fantastic, and I loved your enthusiasm, and I love the fact that they brought you back because of your enthusiasm. Yeah,
oh yeah,
that's
dude.
Always people, but that's to me, it's like that's the type of like he's just excited to share his art on stage, and that is why like we should have a Game Awards. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Share the art
instead of we're going to commercial break, here are 16 awards.
Yeah, that and the fact that like, let's put it this way: even if Balatro wins, there are so many games that just don't even get remotely close to this because part of it is the fact that like, who cares? They're not as big as these other titles, and those are what are going to get eyes on this.
I always feel like there's one token indie game, and then there are like 5 other big games.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've had issues with that obviously it's better than when Spike did it. Jesus Christ, Spike.
Oh man, that thing was painful to watch.
But it's like, it still hasn't... The Game Awards will never be the Oscars for video games, and that is disappointing that we do not have that.
Well, the BAFTAs are like that.
Yeah, but yeah.
See, the thing, what's funny is like I'm hearing rumors now that like the Oscars are going to take, and I swear to God, it'll float his ego so high. But the Oscars are talking about taking that mentality of like debuting new trailers at the Oscars.
I'm sure they are, but like, to me, it's just one of those things where it's like, you lose great people every year. Wow, this is a real bummer way to start the fucking December episode, right? You know?
Ding, ding, ding-a-ling, ding, ding, ding-a-ling, ding.
I know last week was December 1st, but I mean, I feel like we're now in December. But it's like, you lose great people every year. And then we always have these like moments. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up an example that's music-based because it's much easier for me to bring up. We lost Quincy Jones, obviously, at the end of October. Legendary producer. There's a song he covered that won a Grammy called "I Know Corrida." People were posting like Quincy Jones is a genius on YouTube, and part of me wanted to write like, this is actually a cover, and like not to deny Quincy Jones' genius, obviously as a producer and as a musician, but this is a cover of a song from Chaz Jankel. Sorry, I always pronounce his last name wrong. Who's a British musician who is most notable for doing the music side of the writing for Ian Dury and the Blockheads. But he had his own solo career, and I Know Corrida was his first hit. And it's like, if you love this song, Chaz is still alive, and you should tell him that you love his work as well. Like, if you love this song as much as you say you do, because I do genuinely think these people love this song to choose that to be like, I'm so sad Quincy Jones is gone. But it's like, at the same time, we should be honoring people while they're still alive. We always talk like about people when they die and their accomplishments. And obviously you have your figureheads. Like, I don't think anyone isn't giving props to Miyamoto, Kojima, in terms of composers. David Wise obviously is one of the best. And so but it's like, there's so many of these small indie games, or like, there's so many video games that we always just like, in hindsight go, oh, it's very sad that we've lost this person. But it's like, were you telling that person when they were alive? Like, and so like having a Game Awards ceremony, to me, it would be really nice to honor these people while they're still with us, because we are still in the infant stages of video games. Like, it is one of the newest forms of media still. I think obviously VR being sort of the next step into what could be. But like, movies have been around, music, television, they've all been around longer than video games. Television, not by a whole lot, but still. And we've honored those people. But yeah, we just don't do that for video games. And I get it. It's a collaborative effort, but so are movies. So are television shows.
Yeah, you ever watch the credits to a movie? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But it's just like I think we should start honoring the people while we've still got them. Like, and I do love people that go on these like sort of histories of video games to talk about them on YouTube, because it's like they're doing the work to make sure people don't forget. But like, I was watching a video from Majular Gaming, Majuular, fellow Canadian, but he's been doing an Ultima retrospective. And there's people that he talks about. So obviously you have Richard Garriott, Lord British himself, and Warren Spector was involved with Ultima at a certain point, which is where he got his start. So it's like we talk about these people, but then he's mentioning other people whose names I forget, because there's a bunch of them, who don't even have a Wikipedia page. Like, he straight up says, like, there is nothing to find about the person that wrote the lore for Ultima 4, really, outside of like maybe one or two interviews in like Japanese magazines. But like, clearly essential to the development of it. And so I wish the video game awards were more like, BAFTAs are great, but BAFTAs also do a lot, right? I do appreciate the BAFTAs for being there, but I wish it just wasn't on the shoulders of just BAFTA to honor video games. Like, if we were a bigger site, obviously, like, I would love to hand actual awards to people, because we obviously have very different tastes. And I think part of this stems from the fact that like my game of the year, and I'll be honest, it's partially because I haven't played a ton. My mental health has just not been a great place this year. And what I have played has been mostly older stuff, because you need that sometimes. We lost Akira Toriyama this year, and obviously he's going to be remembered for Dragon Ball. Sandland is one of my favorite games of the year. And one thing that I think when we talk about Akira Toriyama, and I'll probably bring this back up at the Game of the Year in January, because it'll probably be the only thing I talk about, because I don't feel like talking about other games I've played so much. I make fun of like, he only knows how to draw like 5 or 6 faces or whatever. And we remember his stories, but his artwork on machinery and architecture is amazing, unmatched. Like the tank in Sandland is as much of a character as the characters that are in the tank. And obviously it's customizable as part of the gameplay, but like just the way the machine looks, and that is what his manga looked like too. So I don't know. I just wish the Jeff Keighley cared as much as he says he does, but I don't expect much from the man who doesn't play Xbox. So
the man who has literally booted it up once,
and you know, it's yeah, it's just like, you know, I'm glad that like Ken or Roberta Williams were honored or whatever, but like there's so many other people. Like, did Richard Garriott get an award? Did the brothers who made Myst get an award? Like, as much as Myst is a miserable experience nowadays, it was revolutionary.
Yeah, I don't think we talk enough about like the Citizen Kanes of video games, like the stuff that changed the way we do things.
Well, just spitballing here live on the show, and I mean, I don't have access to our socials because, let's be honest, I should not be on social media. But you know, I would love to hear from people that like name. I'm not even going to limit you. Name the things that we should look into, because maybe that'll be something I try to approach next year, and I'll have discussions with all of you behind the scenes of what you think too. But like games that are important, not necessarily just to the history of video games, but like to developers' careers and stuff. Like it's just funny because like Shinji Mikami, like, what is his first game? Is his fucking Goof Troop.
I thought it was Sweet Home.
No,
or was it somebody else?
He didn't work on. He does somebody else, and I believe that person moved up in Capcom and wanted to remake Sweet Home, and that's how Resident Evil
got started. Okay.
I believe that's how that worked out. But like, I believe, yeah, Shinji Mikami was like director on the Goof Troop or a game or whatever it's called. I think it's Goof Troop, which is like a puzzle Super Nintendo game.
Dude, Goof Troop is the bomb. That game is really good.
And it's like, you know, there's obviously a ton of Shinji Mikami work that you can like point at and be like, that's great. But like, you know, that's interesting and that's important. I don't know. I like even some of the stuff that's like licensed and you find out like people have worked on and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I wish the gaming awards was better, and I just know that I don't have the resources to make it better, so I'm not interested in it. I'll read about the announcements later, and you know what? Like, I will say this: I don't want to people to think that I'm calling that awards show a sham. That is one thing. I don't think that they give out awards just because they've been bought.
Oh no.
Like, some people think that. I don't think that.
No, I still find it funny that people think that Keighley picks the game of the year. I'm like, he does not do that.
But I think part of it is like, you know, oh, this won, you know, with Baldur's Gate or whatever. Like, it won an award, which it should have. But then it's also being announced for the Xbox Shadow dropped or whatever. And it's
which they forgot to do.
Which they forgot to do. But it is like, yeah, it is coincidental, of course, but at the same time, it is like, yeah, but like two things can also just happen at the same time, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a big conspiracy, and I just don't think it is. Like, if you play Baldur's Gate, even if you don't like it, at no point can you look at that game and be like, this is lazy. That game is just screams of effort.
Oh yeah, I don't care for that game, but that game is something magical.
So, anyway, sorry. I need to say that finally about the Game Awards. I just don't give a shit. I want people, and I'm gonna goddamn make a list of people that I think are important to the video. Like, as a company, I'll throw one out there. Sing, CING, an extremely important company for mostly the Nintendo DS life cycle. I made Trace Memory, one of, I believe, the launch games, and Hotel Dusk. And they are some of the best, like, adventure games on that platform. And over time, it was just like, well, Nintendo didn't buy them and only publish stuff and own the license to, Another Code and Hotel Dusk. And they kept trying to go on, and they ended up sort of reforming to make a game, but it just never took off. And it's like, if you look at their catalog, it's mostly like really well done games. They just didn't sell well enough. And maybe it was marketing, maybe it was just the audience at that time. But like those games now, I look at and I go, if this was on PC or something, like the audience would have been there nowadays, but not at the time. Terry Kavanagh, who's the creator of VVV, Super Hexagon, and Dicey Dungeons, people criticized him for selling his game for $14, $15 when he launched VVV. It was criticized for being $15, and it's like nowadays you wouldn't even sort of blink at that, but he ended up lowering the price of his game because people complained. And I think to some extent he was right. Like, that game is worth $15. I've bought that game enough times to tell you it's worth $15. But it's just, there's these weird moments. Like, as much as Phil Fish is kind of a dick, Fez is sort of an amazing piece of art.
Yeah, you can't deny that.
And to be as cryptic as it is, think of how many games are just cryptic nowadays for cryptic's sake. Like, he was doing that, and obviously there's games before it too, but like there was not to that popularity level since like maybe Atari were games that cryptic.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, anyone?
I can't speak to that. I don't know that game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is it the Atari version?
Yeah, the Atari version. I've
never played the Atari. I've only played the NES games. Everybody
always brings up E.T. as being a bad game, when in fact E.T. was just cryptic as all hell, and it didn't make any sense. But Raiders of the Lost Ark was exactly the same way and didn't receive as much hate, which is hilarious.
Is it the same developer, Howard Scott Warshaw?
I don't want to say yes or no. I don't remember who did Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did work on that.
But that's the other thing. Like, that's the reason why, like, sort of right now, Howard Scott Warshaw is the actual developer of that game. So he probably reused the sort of same elements for E.T. That's the reason why, like, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, literally, it is the sort of same structure I'm reading.
Yeah, it's fairly similar. Of like, did you know that you could do this to this because you can, and the game does. It's weird.
But like that's the reason why. Like, I understand why you put Atari 50 at the top of your list. Like, that Digital Eclipse are the people sort of doing those awards almost. I just hope that they jump forward ahead a bit too.
Yeah, they've kind of stayed back. I think they've got, what is it, 3? The Tetris was their most recent one.
You have Lamasoft.
You have Jordan Mechner.
Yeah, but like, as much as Karateka, whatever, is great, Prince of Persia, like, you need to talk to Ubisoft because that is the game, right?
Yeah, the rotoscope animation, the...
Like, that allows Out of This World to happen, or Another World, and Flashback and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. Not that we just have to preserve history, but we need to do better again at just appreciating who we have when we have them. I cannot remember the name of the gentleman who created the video game cartridge.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But he shouldn't have passed away before we started recognizing that he was important to this industry. And obviously we've made amends, we've talked to his family and we have that history, but it's like, it is a shame that, I don't know. I've been really in my feelings about like hearing about comic industry and stuff like that too, and how the people who made Superman were getting no money until Christopher Reeves and Neil Adams stood up to DC and basically told them, you need to pay the creators of Superman because they are the reason there is a business. Because they were getting nothing. So I don't know. I just want to do better as a collective. I mean, I say that, and then you go on Twitter, and there's some guy blaming that he can't fuck his anime waifu. So what am I saying?
Which way, Western man? Which way?
The one that doesn't look like complete garbage, Grums. You grummy fuck.
I love how Concord is in every one of those pictures. Like, this is why this game failed.
No, the game failed because there's too many of those games.
And that one cost $70.
Yeah. And it just didn't look interesting enough. But this is, by the way, the fuck you episode. We should just say that, like, it's not going to follow the normal formula because I don't want to do that.
Well, I still got to talk about Indiana Jones.
Well, of course. But I feel like that's the climax, the orgasm moment, the face. Indiana Jones. There's. Can you write that out and that can be the quote?
I don't even know how I would present that.
Yeah.
Did you play anything?
Yeah, I've played some stuff. Hold on, Ken. I need your response to this in real time.
Okay.
Somebody said this is how to save Overwatch from the threat that is Marvel rivals.
I mean, fair.
Everybody, it's a picture of Junkrat and then a maid costume.
Yeah, that's how you save Overwatch. I don't think
Junkrat in a maid costume.
Yeah, I think it's funny that everybody's calling this a killer, and I'm just like, how many WoW killers did we hear over the years? Like
Halo killers.
I hope
you know what the Halo killer was? Halo 5.
Yeah, Halo killed itself. It's
full Sudoku. Yeah, I played some stuff, nothing super relevant. Obviously, I've gone back to Deep Rock Galactic because I play that with friends. I played a match with Terrence before his family all entered the same room and started talking, so we couldn't hear him anymore. And he's like, I gotta go. Yeah, so I started up. So Steam Deck's a little weird because it says like, oh, this game is not compatible. And it's like, I'll be the judge of that. Sometimes they're right. I'm just trying to see if I can find recently stuff. Okay, they're recent activity. There we go. So I've been playing Sable, which is did I talk about that last week?
I think you mentioned in chat. I don't remember if you talked about it.
Okay, so Sable looks like an old Mobius comic who was one of the greatest comic artists ever. It looks like that. It's sort of an exploratory. There's platforming in it. There's some puzzle solving in it. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a walking simulator, but it's pretty involved. It's almost like a 3D platform collectathon sort of thing, but very weird and sci-fi. But I kind of love how emotionally grounded it is. You're playing a Sable who's a young girl as part of this tribe, and she's I can't remember Flight, I think. There's like a rite of passage that everybody goes through at a certain age, and I think it's called the Flight, and you get on like your speeder bike and
I think I played this game for an hour or so.
It gets better after the first hour. The first hour is very much a tutorial. And then the world opens up. The bike is the hover bike thing is customizable and all that stuff. And you unlock outfits for her and stuff. But what was really interesting is like you're getting to know all of her other like all the other people in the village, but they're oh god, what's the term? They're nomads. They're nomadic lifestyle. So she has to go and get her mask from this like temple. She gets it, and when she comes back to the village, everybody's gone. And there's just a note left for her that says, like, well, this is part of doing it. We cannot be there to see you off. So they have moved somewhere else in the world. So it's not that you can't come back to home, but home has left you. And it's a very weirdly emotional game in a way that I wasn't expecting. And so I was very impressed with that. That's Steam Deck verified, so that there's no problems there. Very pretty game. it said I couldn't play ActRaiser on the Steam Deck for some reason.
The
So I tried
original?
playing No, Renaissance.
Oh, the new one?
The new one,
I
yeah.
heard it was not great. I never got a chance
It's
to play
fine.
it.
It's fine. You know what? It's made some changes that I'm sure people don't like. But it's fine. I only played the adventure stage because I was like, I don't really want to get into this right now. I just want to see if it works. Because if it doesn't work, I'm just going to take it off my Steam Deck. It works fine on the Steam Deck, so I don't know what reason it doesn't work. But I guess if you're not in oh god, what is it called? Proton Experimental. It doesn't work. So whatever. Started up a game that came out this year called Children of the Sun. Have you heard of this
That a
game?
Rage Against the Machine song?
I mean, it's also a song from the Australian musician Billy Thorpe, which the album was titled "Children of the Sun." That's what it sounds like. It's like a psychedelic prog rock song. It's very good. This game's fucking weird. It's a Devolver joint, so that should kind of explain.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm
Devolver has
now.
two areas, two places it can go. Devolver's either weird and wacky and silly and kind of stupid, or it's Hotline Miami. And this is Hotline Miami, sort of. Even darker then. You play as, I'm assuming, a girl who I think finds her father has blown his brains out with this gun. Like, he's sitting there and he's got the gun pointed at his head that is sort of no longer there in this, like, animated cutscene. She takes the gun, and I think I'm shooting cult members. Kind of look like police officers, but the symbol on their, like, poncho or whatever looks like a cult logo, so I think they're cult police or whatever. And the whole gimmick is you can move around in sort of like a circle around the environment. Sometimes it's a straight line. You can just kind of position yourself. So you get your position. You can tag everything, and then it's you have a sniper rifle with one bullet in it, and you shoot that bullet, and you hit the guy. Obviously, you want to go for a headshot. You can blow their dick off too. You don't see it, but it tells you if you get a dick shot. And shoot the guy, and when you shoot the guy, you're now where that guy was standing and controlling the bullet and turning it. And now you're aiming at another guy. I had to really crank up the sensitivity on the right analog stick to be able to do this at any speed to keep my multiplier, because the fucking base setting was so goddamn low. But and then you're firing from that point, and then you hit that guy. Now you're firing from that dead position. The goal is to kill everybody in the stage. So, like, in the first stage, there's 4 people that you kill. And when you're done, it shows you where you were standing. It draws this yellow line, and it almost looks like a constellation drawn in the ground. And then it gives you your score.
So it's like Super Hot, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. It's very weird. I kind of like it. There's just it's sort of a puzzle, sort of like Super Hot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those, like, I can see genius in it at times, and other times I go, fuck you, man. Like, I don't know. What is this? I played Escape Simulator with my friend Sam. It was on sale. I bought him a copy because I wanted to play it, but obviously doing an escape room by yourself is not necessarily the most fun in the world. Fuck yeah, that game is, if you've ever done an escape room, this is a pretty accurate simulation of that.
Is it just one, or is there, like, multiple?
Oh man, so there's 28 levels, 28 rooms in the base game. Then there's 4 free DLC. Let me see here. I'm just gonna go to the store for a second. So the free DLC, there's the Talos one based off the Talos principle.
Okay.
These are all single rooms, the free ones. Power Wash Simulator, based one. Among Us, and Portal.
That checks out.
And then there's a steampunk DLC, a Wild West DLC, a Magic DLC, supporter pack, which I'm assuming is just clothing, and then a Mayan DLC, and each of those include 4 escape rooms in the set. I think the base. So that's the other thing. They separate them based on genre. So we are going through the science fiction one first, and I think there's 5 levels. What they do to increase so we've only failed 1 escape room, and by failed I mean you have to do it within a certain time to get a trophy. There's no fail state necessarily, but you just don't get the trophy on that level. They hide all these fucking tokens in every level, and some of those goddamn tokens are so fucking hard to find. So we'll finish a level, and then we spend the rest of the time looking for these fucking tokens, and they are hidden so goddamn well. It's a lot of fun. They've announced that they're making a sequel, which we'll probably play. But we played last night, and we'll probably play again today. I'm really impressed. If you've ever done an escape room, this is extremely close. And from my understanding, give me a second here. I have to go back to the store page because I'm still fairly new to this game. I believe it's got workshop support. Community made rooms. So there's workshop support so you can download more rooms. Obviously, some of them might suck, but that's neat.
Most of them might suck.
Thank God there's a rating system, Ken. You fucking bummer.
Well, just saying, most community created content
true.
is bad. Like that's
how many versions of Mario 1-1 can we have in this fucking?
If somebody made Silent Hill the room escape, there you go.
I mean, maybe the next one they even get more licensing, because like the licensing they have is not surprising at all. But I was pretty impressed. There's been some puzzles where when I figured it out, I went, "Oh, that's so fucking good! That's so fucking good." So that's the way a puzzle should feel. You should never go, "I wasn't gonna fucking get that." So speaking of games where I'm like, I don't fucking get it, and I'm liking the game. This is not a criticism. This is literally the point of the game. Have you ever heard of the Exit 8?
The Exit 8. I played Exit and Exit 2. I don't remember Exit 8.
No. So Exit, well, those games are great.
Oh, I love those games.
Speaking of games that are underrated, Exit and Exit 2 are underrated games. God damn, those games were good. I'm putting the link in chat. So the Exit 8, I will read it out. You are trapped in an endless underground passageway. Observe your surroundings carefully to reach the Exit 8. So there's another game from the same developer called Platform 8. Both of them have a subway vibe to them. The goal is that you're walking down a hallway, and of course, when you turn around, then it has like an S-shaped turn, so you turn left, and then you turn right, and then you're back in the same hallway. Actually, sorry, you turn left, you turn right, you turn left, you turn right, and then you're in the same hallway. And the goal is to notice when there's an anomaly or not. And so to give a basic one, there's a no smoking sign on the wall. When you turn down the corridor, there's the first thing that's in the corridor is a no smoking sign. And then sometimes there's way too many no smoking signs to the point where they're plastered on the floor even. At that point, you want to turn around and head the other direction. And the sign that says exit 0 will go up by 1. And you have to decide whether there's an anomaly or not correctly 8 times in a goddamn row. And sometimes they're pretty obvious. And other times, I swear to God, the sound of so there's always a man walking down the hallway. I'm pretty sure that sometimes the sound of the man walking has changed, and that is the cue that there's an anomaly happening. It is spot the difference fucking expert mode. And I am very impressed with how simple of a concept it is.
This game is
and how
old.
well it's done.
It's been out a year.
Well, so the reason why I picked it up was that the sequel came out, Platform 8, which came out this year. And I don't know if I don't think there's any order that you need to play them in, but I figured I'll start Exit 8 because it's also the one that says it may not run well on Steam Deck. It runs fine on Steam Deck. It runs fine. Obviously, the screen being smaller probably doesn't help seeing anomalies, but at the same time, like, it's not that small, so I don't think I'm missing anything. I think I'm just not noticing some of the small changes because there's posters on the wall, and maybe there's small changes on the posters. The door, one of them was tiles on the goddamn floor had changed. I wasn't sure what to do at first, but next to every exit sign that tells you your progress, it tells you what the rules are. And yeah, like, it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews. It has 7,149 reviews and has a very positive score of all time. So it's not like I'm breaking news to anybody there.
It's also $4.
It is $4. So it is $4. First of all, in VR, this game would probably fucking be amazing.
It has a VR bundle as you can get.
Yeah. I don't have VR, so that's not helpful for me. But if you have VR, I would probably recommend this just because there's nothing scary. I mean, there's some moments that are like uncomfortable, but nothing scary. Nothing super jumps out at you and then screams in your face or anything like that. It doesn't last long. But like being able to actually observe and move your head around and look closer at things physically, I think would be a really neat concept. But yeah, like, it's just a very impressive game. And yeah, playtime, 15 to 60 minutes. I've played for fucking 2.5 hours.
It only has 2 achievements, too.
One is reach Exit 8, and the other one see all the anomalies. So I've heard that when you finish the game, it doesn't reset, or doesn't reset the anomalies. Like, it actually stops showing you anomalies you've already seen, so you can see the rest of them. I've heard. That might be wrong, but because at first I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to, like, acknowledge the anomalies or whatever, and then somebody's like, no, you turn around if you see anomalies. And yeah, it's creepy. So a lot of people talk about liminal horror, but then there's always a goddamn monster in it. This is not that type of, like, liminal horror. This is true liminal horror. You're always in this process of being in motion, like, forward, and yet things are wrong. And sometimes, like, I'll walk into the hallway and go, something's off. I don't know what, and sometimes I'm rewarded for that feeling, and sometimes I'm punished. I'm like, no. They're like, no. In fact, there was nothing wrong with that hallway. You were wrong. But, like, it's that sort of feeling that makes you sort of, like, wonder what the fuck is going on. I don't know. It's very impressive for something. Like, if you looked at this game and you didn't know anything about it, I could totally see somebody going, yeah, this looks like an Unreal sort of asset flip thing. But then the concept is so genius. I've seen it been ripped off, by the way. Like, there are other people. If you're looking for Exit 8, it is by Kotaki Create. They are the people that you want to look at. I'm assuming it's one dev, but I'm not sure. But yeah, just a very impressive game. I've seen I've seen it come up on YouTube when it was first popular, but, like, I'm sorry. If I see a bunch of people streaming shit, the immediate response is, I will wait to see where the dust settles on this game, because, like, hype trains suck. No, this one's one of those real smart game mechanics. Like, not to compare it to Vampire Survivors, because Vampire Survivors wasn't the first to do that concept either, but, like, figuring out how to do a fucking spot the difference game in a new, fascinating way is brilliant. It feels like Vampire Survivors in the same way. There's a ton of content here. Like, even if you finished it in 60 minutes, it is worth the fucking $5. Because I'm telling you right now, you won't. It's way harder than you think. So yeah, I recommend that. I recommend Escape Simulator. Like, they're very similar vibes. They're puzzle solving, a lot of observational puzzle solving. So yeah, no, I've enjoyed my week with video games for not playing a ton this year. Like this has been like my catch up time. Um, I'm trying to think of a joke about mustard now because I said ketchup. But
No.
yeah, I recommend it, Ken. Like I think you'd probably like. I mean, again, it's $4. I'm sure you've spent
Oh,
more
dude,
for
I've
worse.
spent more on worse. I
Yeah,
promise you.
yeah, if anybody wants to try that, like I said, I have not played Platform 8. That one is takes place in a subway car that's constantly moving forever. So I'll be playing that after I finish Exit 8. But yeah, that's it for me. Like game wise, those are what I've played. There isn't a single game I don't recommend on that list. So even Children of the Sun, which is very odd. The thing that bothers me with Children of the Sun, it's available on 2 platforms, PC and Switch.
That's not
And it's
uncommon. Like Switch gets a lot of
but
the PC indie
sure,
games.
but the content of this game, I feel like would also succeed on both PlayStation and Xbox. It's a shooting game that turns into almost a puzzle arcade game. And like, not gonna lie, if you like sniping, this is that. I'm stuck on a stage right now where I have to shoot birds out of the sky and fish in the water. And so when you shoot fish in the water, you then need to turn your bullet upwards and hope to God you have to time it so like a bird is flying perfectly overhead so you can connect to the bird. So then when you're up in the air now, you can look down and shoot another fish, get to another fish in the water, look upwards again and shoot another bird. And the birds and fish are moving, so you have to like aim slightly ahead of where they're going to be. There's a bit of a bullet time to it, but Jesus Christ, this is way more difficult than you'd expect. All right, now Indiana Jones. Let's talk about it.
Well, I'll get to
Start with the
Indiana
other shit.
Jones. I have other stuff I played too. There are 2 games that I'm playing that are out this week. I'll talk about those next week. That's Mighty Morphin Rita's Rewind and Soul Reaver 1 and 2. Those are out this week. I'll talk about those next week. I did try out 2 other kind of smaller game. Well, I guess one of them's not smaller because it's fucking $50, which is that Fantasian Neo Dimension from Sakaguchi.
Is that a remake?
It's not a remake. It was an original game on the phone, and then now they're
Let me
bringing
rephrase that. Is it a remake of the phone game, or is it a sequel to the phone game?
No, it's just the phone game. It's the same
good.
game.
So I can actually buy the phone game and not have to play it on my fucking iPad. Done.
If you want to pay $50 for it, which I'm not saying the game's not worth it. It is. What's the best way to describe it? It very much feels like a 32-bit JRPG. Like,
how does it look?
I think it looks okay.
You like the
I like the diorama.
Background?
Yeah, I like the diorama kind of style of it, but like the characters are very angular, so that's why it's very like PS1 era kind of character models. The combat is weird because they were like, instead of just making it like it should be on a console, it feels like they tried to convert the phone like controls to it. So when you go to attack, you either pull the left trigger or the right trigger. So the left trigger is like your attacks and the right trigger is like your magic. And then you select what you want to do and then you press the A button to confirm. And like even the main menu like shows a picture of a controller, but it doesn't like tell you what button. It definitely feels like it came from the phone. But the music is outstanding because it's, Uematsu, so of course it's outstanding.
I'm waiting for because this game has now released outside of the Apple Arcade. I'm hoping that Sonic one gets released outside of Apple Arcade.
Yeah, it's weird Sega hasn't done that. Like,
because I think there's like Fantasian, I think there's a time frame where it is specifically theirs.
Yeah, because Apple gets like a certain
well, they paid for it.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Is like they have to. It has to be a certain amount of time before it can go somewhere else.
I will say this: I do support Apple Arcade just because it costs me $5. I need to pick up my iPad more. Is the issue?
What's funny is
I don't want to play there. It's literally that I just do not have a need to pick up the iPad. Therefore, I do not play on the iPad.
If they did better with like front loading it because like you can play most of those games on like because I have an Apple TV and you can play most of those games on your TV with an actual controller that you just connect to the Apple TV. When I had it for a month, I played Neo Dimension and I played that Fox Mario Kart clone.
At the time.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. The with like
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Yeah. You know what? It was kind of good.
What? I'll tell you what. Propane accessories.
Propane. But yeah, that sounds more like Bill Clinton. I told you. But yeah, no, I wish they'd bring that game to a console because I'd totally play it because I'm a big Family Guy.
I'm surprised they haven't. I'm surprised they haven't because like rules with Apple Arcade is they can't sell content.
And that's fine. Like they're like all the characters were there. You could play as Roger from American Dad.
That's a pretty good fucking Roger. Goddamn.
That voice is used in a lot of his stuff though, so it's funny to me.
Is American Dad the better show now?
I don't watch American Dad, so I can't answer that question.
There's been some the episode. Oh God, the episode where the son and the principal go on a fucking escape across, and I think they're jumping the Grand Canyon, and at the same time, there's also another principal with another kid doing the same thing. The cars collide.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Seth MacFarlane had 3 goddamn television shows on Fox on Sunday night.
Well, it's 2.5. Cleveland Show was awful.
Yeah, Cleveland Show was not good, but still, that thing ran for what, like 5 seasons or some shit, which is crazy.
Hold on.
I remember it running for longer than it absolutely should have. Family Guy's on like 25 now or some shit. It's crazy.
4 fucking seasons, 86 episodes.
Yeah, I told you.
Episodes. Jesus Christ.
I think you know what was funny is when they canceled it and they brought him back to Family Guy, they made jokes about it for weeks. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, well, my favorite is when they had him on his own show and they did the same joke where half his house got blown up.
Oh yeah,
the tub slides out, but he's not in it because there's no one living there.
My favorite joke is when Cleveland came back in an episode while the show was still running, and Peter gets a phone call and it's the Cleveland Show ringtone, and Cleveland's like, "Oh, you got the song," and Peter's like, "Yeah, it's not doing so well." That's just funny to me. No, I'd totally play that if they bring it to a console. Because I'm not going to pay $5 a month for the rest of my life to play one game. That's just stupid.
No, and that's the reason why I need to cancel mine. Just because, again, I don't pick up my iPad enough. Although DC Universe Infinite, whatever the reading thing is now available in Canada. So, like, for $5, I can read old stuff.
Oh, you get that with Apple?
No, but I can put it on my iPad, so I'll probably just switch my subscription. I'll remove my subscription for Apple Arcade and switch to DC. I'm spending that $5 anyways because I'm too lazy to turn on my iPad to cancel either. That's how they get you.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what? Like, again, it's a great service. It's just I don't pick that up when I'm playing video games. I pick that up for other reasons, and then I go, oh yeah, I still have this.
Yeah. It's kind of like how I'm with YouTube TV. Like, I think it's a good service, but I'm not paying $20 a month.
I've never had that option because it doesn't exist in Canada.
Yeah, it's a great service. Like, get rid of the ads, get the higher bit rate, but like you don't get any like extra content. Like they used to do original content, but like I didn't really care for any of it. So.
No, that's not YouTube TV. That's YouTube Premium.
That's what I mean. YouTube Premium.
Okay,
YouTube TV. Premium. I don't pay for cable or like TV services.
Well, YouTube TV was like their cable service over the internet. That's the reason why I thought that, because that's never existed in Canada.
Oh, no.
Where you can watch like fucking actual cable channels or whatever. It was weird, and I was like, oh, I'd love to know. I guess I can't remember what I wanted to watch, but I was like, oh, I'll get that, and then like it's not available in Canada. I'm like, yeah,
I don't even understand why people buy. So like, if you're gonna watch local channels, I don't get it. Like, just buy a fucking antenna. Like, this shit works fine.
Oh, yeah, no, some people live in basements, Ken. You fucking asshole.
Your house isn't underground, though. You can still buy a fucking antenna.
What was it? Maybe it was a sports network. Maybe it was Nickelodeon. Oh, you know what? It was probably... Hold on here. I'm looking at all the things.
Now, cable channels is different. You can't get those over the air, so I get that.
Well, that's what it was. Like they have Disney, all the Disney stuff. If you
Yeah,
want to
no,
watch...
you can't get that over the air. But I'm talking like if you want to watch like ABC, like
Yeah, no,
fucking...
no. I wasn't talking about that. No, these were actual like cable channels, and I was like, oh, really interesting. I would love to sign up for that. And they're like, yeah, you bet you would. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, no, those
Like
things
sci-fi,
are fucking racket, man. They're so expensive, and then they break them out into tiers. It's like, ugh.
PBS, which yes, I would sign up
PBS
for.
you can get over the air, so that's
I don't
free.
know if I can in Canada, surprisingly. Maybe. I'm not sure about that one.
Dude, just plug an antenna in and run the fucking channel check on your TV. You'll find all kinds of shit.
Like I found out that I have pretty decent channels for free on Roku, anyways, and I was like, well, if I want to watch Antiques Roadshow, I've got the fucking channel for it.
Oh yeah, dude! So. Like all those like streaming, like a lot of those have like free TV section. Just fucking watch them.
There's actually one that I have on my phone now because of them, called, and I'm gonna recommend it. Oh my god! They just added that. Sweet. Called Retro Crush. It's mostly anime, but like older stuff. They have like all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Surprisingly, good lord. They have most of City Hunter. They have a bunch of movies. They have the Street Fighter animated movies. Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2. They have the original Japanese Ring movies, which is weird because those are an anime. They have the original live-action Uzumaki, if you want to watch a better version of that. But I was flicking through the channels, and there was like it looked almost like Sailor Moon, which, I mean, I grew up around the time where that was the only anime on television still. That was like during the day and not late at night. Called Saint Tail, and it's like, what if Sailor Moon was a young girl who was actually Robin Hood, so she transforms into a magical girl and then steals things back from the rich evil people.
Oh, okay.
It was a lot of fun, and I was like, oh, I wonder what else is on that. And they have Magic Knight Rayearth, and they just added the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not a good show.
No, most of that stuff from them was not good.
But I will probably watch all of it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, just because it's bad don't mean I ain't gonna watch it.
And it's free. It's free with ads. And yeah, you can even watch it in your browser. So, Retro Crush. Anyway, sorry, an ad over, I suppose.
Oh, I'm also playing The Thing Remastered, which is good. They made a lot of quality of life changes. I had forgotten.
Can you talk about that?
What's that?
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't.
I have questions, but I don't know.
Well, I don't like. It's been what, 20 years since I played that game. Like, it's a very interesting concept of trust, where it's a squad game, but you have to get their trust, and you can lose.
It's so broken by just using the fucking hypo thing on yourself over and over and over.
No. They've made a lot of the changes, so like a lot of the quirks from the original game have been fixed.
Story moment means that everybody's the thing. Oops, all things.
Although I did get stuck early on because like I ran into a section where the guy wanted my gun to trust me, but like I'd already given one of my guns to somebody else who left. So if I gave him this gun, that's the only gun I had. I'm like, well, I don't think I want to give you this gun, because then I don't have a gun, and then how am I supposed to protect myself? I do wish they'd updated like the squad system, because you still have to like press up on the D-pad, then select a person, then tell them what to do, instead of like it being contextual. But it's fine. Like, it's a Night Dive remaster, so you know it works great, and they go back and touch everything, so it looks good. It's interesting to hear the voice work, because like the main character, like I'm like, I know that guy, and then I hear the other guy, and I swear to God, it's the same voice actor that did Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Is it?
Like, it sounds like him.
Hold on.
Like, what's his name? Quentin? Oh, God, I can't remember his name.
Give me a minute here.
but I
I know
swear
who you're talking about.
it's either
Okay,
him
so
or the guy that did one of the Ninja Turtles in the original cartoon.
do you? Of course. So I'm just gonna tell you right now. They're just listed as voice. Cool.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I'm now clicking. So I know who you're talking about. No, he's not listed here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look through that. If you want to talk about the thing still, I will let you know when I
No,
find out.
that's about all
Okay.
that I have to say about the thing.
I mean, look, it's an interesting survival horror game.
Oh, 100%. Like people thinking it's just a shooter where you shoot the monsters. No, it is absolutely not that.
What I loved about it, well, okay, so a lot of these voice actors are so far just in this game.
Which is weird because they sound like other voice actors. It's crazy.
Yeah. So far, the first person that's been in other stuff is Kevin Allen Moore, who was in The Thing Remastered, I believe a movie called I Died,
Okay.
a movie called Black Knight. He's Knave of Chronic in Black Knight,
Wow.
and he was in his additional voices in Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. So that is the first guy that has more than just The Thing as a credit.
Interesting.
Another person with just The Thing as a credit. This person has been in acting and some stuff, but again, nothing huge. Another person that's just The Thing.
Maybe it was like just a group of people. I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so not even. God Lord, not okay. So this person's been involved with video games, but is not a voice actor in other video games. I can't believe these people are just in nothing. Fucking one of the people in The Thing was one of the zombie dancers in Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay.
So far, they're the most famous.
And we don't even know who they are, which is...
Yeah. Okay, so Kat Cressida, who is the voice of the computer, has been in a lot of stuff as additional voices. She's been in Horizon Forbidden West as additional voices, God of War Ragnarok.
What if that was like your resume? Like, I am other voices.
Yeah, it always sucks, because if those characters have any... Oh, she was the Eden AI in Rage 2. She's the voice of Elektra in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. There we go. We got some fucking names going on now.
Huh.
Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if she's got any other... She's been in a lot of video games. Good lord. She was Jessie in which I'm assuming the Toy Story character in the Disney Infinity games. Scratch and Skylanders. Wow, she's in the Saboteur, the original Avatar game, Dragon Age, or she's a mystical elf female in Dragon Age Origins.
That narrows it down.
I'm assuming it's the character voice. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't remember that game well enough.
Can't believe. Oh wow, she's the cutscene dialogue for Anna Williams in Tekken 5. She's the most famous person out of this whole list because everybody else credits is like, I was in The Thing.
Hey, they were in The Thing.
And then, all right, and then this gentleman, William B. Davis, was in like X-Files and Stargate SG-1 and stuff. So I'm assuming The Thing was like a side thing for him. Because he seems to be like a in-person actor mostly. But yeah, just that's weird. That's weird because that game is carried by its dialogue to some extent. I do like how the people react and all that. But the sequence where it's starting off, where the Thing is like just a head watching you from like a snowdrift,
mm-hmm.
and then you run over to that snowdrift from where it was seeing you, and it's gone. It's like, okay, all right, this game's now fucking with me.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Nope. I appreciate it. That's a good horror game.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the name of this. I played this racing game on the Nintendo Switch. It reminds me of like KoroQ, if you know what that is.
Yes, I am a big KoroQ / Gadget Racers / Road Trip Adventure / KoroQ. Yes, those are the three names they produced.
What
in
is
the
this
States. Penny
game?
Racers.
What is this game called? I can't remember. Fuck.
Are
I'm
the cars
sorry.
customizable?
Yes.
Ooh, is it good?
Yes, it
Oh
plays
shit!
like Mario Kart, kind of, where you've got like a drift mechanic that will level up and give you a speed boost.
What's it on?
Switch, and I think PC, and I think that's it. Hold on, I know where
Is
to.
racing in the name?
Yes. I feel so bad that I don't remember what the name of this game is. Hold on. I will find this.
Not buggy off-road racing, right?
No, it's got like hot. Sorry. It's a Platonic game. Victory Heat Rally. That's what it's called. Sorry.
All right. And this is a newer game, I'm assuming.
It's coming out on Switch on the 12th.
Oh, that's why I can't find it. Oh, okay, hold on.
I don't remember if I'm embargoed, so I probably should not say anything. I thought it was already out, but it's not out till the 12th. That's my bad. I apologize for saying.
It sure fucking looks. That sure looks like fucking Koro. Oh my god, even the art style looks like.
Yeah, it 100% looks like Korokyu. Like 100%. It's the first thing I thought of when I saw it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Gadget Racers was a buy just out of the sheer curiosity I had for it from back in the day when you would get weird ass games from Blockbuster because they'd bring in stuff and then they'd realize no one wants to rent it. So that's how I got that, and then I found out that there was more to a series, and I actually own some Japanese games from the Korokyu, because, like, that series really rocks, and this really looks like that, so I'm very excited now. I'm checking to see
I will
if it's
keep
on
my
Steam.
mouth shut, because the embargo is December 12th, but maybe you should pay attention to that game.
Just to show you how much I actually wish list. It was on my wish list, and I did not realize that. I do not have to add it to my wish list.
It's so weird that there's an embargo on it, because it's out on PC, right? Like it's
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe check that game.
Let me just talk. Hold on. Let me. You can just go. My time reflects 100%ing this game. 26 hours. That means all gold medals and all events and all achievements. This is my favorite racing game, and it's not even close. It's a cross between Crash, Mario Kart, and the more technical Kart Rider. I just want more, man. I was sad I fully cleared this because I want to keep going. Also, Tofu Run is not only the best track, but the best music in the game. Nominated this for everything I could in the Steam 2024 awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Platonic,
Alrighty.
which is crazy. Like,
well, they're publishing it. Platonic
yeah, they're publishing it. Yeah. They're not the developer.
Making it. They're busy remaking Yooka-Laylee.
Now, another racing game I played that I immediately deleted. So
can you talk about this one?
Yeah, it's out. I didn't buy this. It's actually free too, which is Sony put out for the 30th anniversary of my first Gran Turismo, and I was like, oh, cool, because like the new Gran Turismo, one of the things that drives me crazy about it is like it's just so much menu and so many people talking to you, and it's just. And they don't even really talk to you. It's just like text boxes. And it's just kind of annoying. And I just want to race. And I was like, well, maybe if my first Gran Turismo is like, hey, jump in here and just play. Just like do some cool like mountain pass levels or something. Dude, I boot this game up. And I still crack up every time I boot up the other Gran Turismo for PS5, which has like an 8-minute goddamn intro. But my first Gran Turismo...
Don't you want to fuck the car? That's what it should just say.
Dude, it literally starts off with like the first car, and I'm just like, oh my god, we don't need this.
The Model T.
Yeah, we don't need this. What are we doing?
Can you race one of those?
I don't know. God. Probably 27,000 hours into the game or something. I don't know.
Fucking god damn it.
But my first Gran Turismo boots up, and it's like, well, do you want to race? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we got to get a license first. And immediately I just went, oh.
That is one thing that I will say. Gadget Racers, not going back to the game we previously talked about, but you had to get a license in that game as well.
Well, in this one, so
weird, because that game also has pontoons that inflate, and so your car can float on top of the water, and if you have a little fan at the back, you can just boat your way across. So, like, what license do I need? These are toy cars. Anyways, continue.
I want to tell you that this is like test of patience. So I'm like, okay, I'll try to get my license. It literally starts off with a tutorial about when you should brake around corners. And it's a video. It's not you playing, it's a video. And it went on for 2 minutes before I immediately shut it off and was like, fuck off.
I never understood the joy of Gran Turismo.
I love that first game.
I have always looked at those going, yep, I want my racing to be boring. That's definitely there. And I'm not trying to insult people that like simulation stuff, but like, I don't know. I still look at those games and I'm like, why? And I'm not even trying to sound like I love Xbox, but at least with Forza, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, it teaches you dynamically, and it doesn't sit there and like give you car porn. It's just like, no, just you're driving a car, and this car is going to react realistically. And if you turn this fucking corner too quick, motherfucker, you're going off the road. And fair enough.
All right, now I have two big games to talk about. Question is, which one do you want to talk about first? You want to hear about Overwatch with Captain America, or do you want to hear about
that one first? I don't care.
If Terrence was here, this would be a whole other conversation because he would be mad at me for a lot of the things I'm about to say. But I have to give my opinion. So I've played about 20 games of Marvel Rivals since it went 1.0. We played last night. Me, Drew, and Terrence played some games together.
Drew played a video game for the first time in 17 years.
Yeah, I think he played like 5 matches. It was like a crazy record, man. But yeah, so Marvel Rivals is literally Overwatch. It is like the same game, like payload.
I mean, were you surprised by that?
No, I wasn't surprised by it. But what I was surprised by was like it's almost like a. I don't know if you watch Overwatch content. A lot of times people do what are called random generators, where they give like characters different abilities. That's what Marvel Rivals is. So, like, I just picked a character and started going with it, which ended up being Luna Snow, because I like to play support. Like, that's the role I enjoy playing a lot. And
well, I mean, it's also the only one you can queue in a reasonable time in Overwatch.
Well, Marvel Rivals, it's all it don't matter. There's no role queue. So you just pick whatever you want, which means nobody plays support. I'm just explaining
how you end up in the support role and just going, yeah, I'm used to it now.
Yeah, no, that's how I think I got into it in Overwatch, because nobody ever wanted to play it. So the character that I picked is basically if you took Lucio and Mei and just kind of mixed them together, because she could freeze people. She also, like, one of the things Marvel Rivals does is most of the characters, like, you shoot your weapon to heal people if you're the support. Like, it seems like that's a big thing. Like, it's not like hold a beam on them or do an AoE, or it's always shoot something. Like Rocket Raccoon is essentially Baptiste, where he shoots little balls and they heal people. Like, it's like there's almost a connection to every character in this game. Like, Magneto's kind of Sigma. He has a shield and he floats. And it's like, it is very much that. But it is very fun to play the game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun playing it. But I do have some quirks with the game itself. Number one is I don't really care for the maps. Like, the maps feel not intuitive to know like where to go, and it also at times feels very confusing as to how to get to. Like, it's on the map, it's on the screen. Like, it shows you like here's where you need to go, but sometimes the journey there feels like it's got a lot of obstacles that don't need to be there, which is it's confusing definitely when you first start playing and you don't know the maps. But they just don't feel as intuitive. Also, the visual language kind of bothers me. Like, I feel like sometimes there really should be a default, and they do it for the health bars. Like, you know that blue is shield, you know that red is health. Like, those make sense. But I did notice when I was playing the healer, Like some of the healing items are yellow, some of them are green, some of them are blue. And it's just like that visual language is confusing because like, am I doing something or am I not doing something? Like it's not intuitive in a way that really showcases like, hey, I want to give you this visual feedback that is very universal. So I feel like that's kind of an issue. And it's been 8 years since Overwatch came out, and you figure some of the lessons could be learned. But this game is...
Overwatch didn't learn those lessons.
No, I understand that. But, like, the matches are still either you win or you lose by a lot. Like, it doesn't feel...
That'll change with time.
I think the more people learn how to play the game, I think that will definitely change. There's also characters that definitely need changes, but that you know, I'm not saying Overwatch was very unbalanced and messy at launch too. That's not a knock on the game, that's just letting people play it and you figure it out as you go. The last complaint that I'll put on this is people who make free-to-play games, can you really like find somebody who can make a good fucking menu? Like the home screen on this game is just so messy. It's so fucking messy. It reminds me of Fortnite and like basically any free-to-play game that I've ever played feels like a convoluted menu, and I'm confused as to what this is and what that is and where does this go and what does this do, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like navigating menus in free-to-play games is as hard as navigating maps that I don't know in, you know, online shooters. It just feels unintuitive. The game is good. I think a lot of people are playing it. A lot of people are having a good time with it. It's something different. I hope that it does well and keeps going, but at the end of my session, all I wanted to do was go back and play the game that I'm comfortable with, which is what I think happens to a lot of people with these games.
Which I think is what, and this is because Terrence was getting on us at one point. More you than me, of course.
Well, yeah, because he thinks I just automatically hate this game when I don't. I think it's fun. Absolutely.
I think the problem, and you know, because I had to explain to him, like, it's different when you have copycat single-player games. Because single-player games, generally, have an end. Multiplayer games, the point is to keep playing.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, as long as there is as long as they're a group to play against, you know what I mean? Like, so when a game comes out, I always use the analogy, like, you're trying to serve your steak to people who are already eating steak. Like, it is hard to get people to see the value in something that they already think they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, like with you just said, like, you're going to go back to what feels comfortable. And even if this game was like 1-for-1 Overwatch, like, yeah, but you're used to the way the characters look and stuff like that.
And I know what all the characters do. Like, I don't have to learn it again.
Right. And it's just like, to me, there's always this weird spot where it's like, copying can only do so much. You have to do something a little bit more to stand out. Obviously, sometimes those are failures as well. But I think it's just like, yeah, like, you know, the games that just try to follow. I don't think this will fail because it's got Marvel licensing behind it. So trust me, I don't
it'll be around a while. Anywhere. Absolutely, will be around a while.
But it's just like, you know, how many other hero shooters were there? Like, games that didn't even play like Overwatch got compared to Overwatch, Battleborn.
Yeah, that's not even
Overwatch at all.
Yeah, that's not even.
But it was close enough. And, like, that's the other thing, too. We always talk about this stuff, like, in a space of, we play fucking video games. These are also aimed at people who do not play video games to the same level we play video games. And you have to convince that audience that knows nothing why your thing is different than the other thing. And, like, that's very hard to do. Like, you know, how is Marvel Snap different from the new Pokemon mobile game, right? Like, yeah, they're very different games, but, like, to the outside eye, like, people just see two licensed card games. And they're going to probably gravitate to the license they like more.
That's absolutely what'll happen. Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. There's so many facets to it where I hope things succeed, but I just also go, I'm just not surprised when things don't. Right? It's kind of like all the Survivor clones. Yeah. But ultimately there's, two main things that are still talked about. Survivor.io, because that got in on the ground level, right? I think it may predate
it
Vampire
does.
Survivors.
I think it does.
And Vampire Survivors and Survivor.io weren't the first either. I think it was Magic Survivors or Spell Survivors, but Spell Survivors didn't have that addictiveness that Vampire Survivors got or Survivor.io got. And Survivor.io has the staying power because it was it was on phones before Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors is still talked about because it updates and stuff like that. There's a ton of content. And it's and then what about all the other Survivor games?
I mean, to be fair, Blizzard very rarely ever innovates. They mostly just take something that exists and make it really good.
Right, but that's the thing. You have to be so much better to succeed in that way.
Blizzard's been the king of that. They took EverQuest and made it wow. They took Counter-Strike and they made Overwatch. Or Team Fortress. Sorry, Team Fortress. And they made Overwatch.
Team Fortress lost its shit because Team Fortress started to focus on fucking hats and stuff. There's a reason why the 360 version, not that I know if you can even play it anymore, of the Orange Box was popular still. It was because it was an untouched version of TF2.
They've pretty much done that with everything they've ever done, and people can criticize them if they want, but their games are huge. I found it funny, the conversation of Overwatch is dead. I'm it's not dead. I'm not.
It's just never. The peak has gone. We are past the peak.
Well, the peak as in it being good. As far as the peak of player count, it's higher than it's ever been.
Well, it's also free.
Sure. And a lot of people...
the peak of Overwatch in terms of playing, yes.
Yes, the peak of playing peaked before Overwatch 2 even came out.
And the other thing we have to note is how many people are actually spending money on Overwatch. I'm sure it makes money, don't get me wrong.
Oh, it makes a ton of money, because that was another...
as much as it used to when it was a better game.
It makes more
I'd
now.
be curious about it. Does it really?
It makes more now.
I guess, because if you have that much more of a player count, I suppose. But
well, they're catering. So one of the conversations I thought was funny was all you gotta do is take Overwatch and make sexy characters. Man, I don't know what world you're living in, but people are super horny for Overwatch characters.
I believe one of the years, Pornhub, they do their end of the year list, of course. I don't remember who. Maybe it was this podcast. I don't remember who covered that, but somebody said Overwatch was one of the most searched terms.
Yeah. And they know what they're doing. If you look at every season, who gets skins? It's Mercy. It's Kiriko. It's the characters people are weird about. That's
when really Roadhog is the hottest of them all.
I mean, clearly his lifeguard outfit is. Oh.
He was the worst character I could pick, but I could have probably picked Bastion. But people probably want to fuck the poor robot, so
there's not a character in Overwatch that people don't. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so I'm not. I hope this game continues to do well. I hope that a lot of people. Another thing I want to talk about is Drew was playing and he was like, "This is really fun." I'm like, "Here's the thing, Drew. This game is new. You're going to play it this time. You're not going to play it every day." That's the other part of these games is people that get into these games, they play them constantly. So when I came into Marvel Rivals, all these people that didn't play these games, they were cannon fodder to me. They didn't understand how these games work, so I'm just mowing everybody down. I don't think I'm the best thing since sliced bread at these games, but I literally won 9 of my first 10 games and had MVP in 5 of them. That just comes from me playing ungodly amounts of Overwatch. Once people learn how to play Marvel Rivals, people like Drew that play it casually are going to stop having fun just like they stopped having fun in Overwatch.
Well, but the other thing, and this is kind of why I use the steak analogy, while you're eating, you aren't thinking of your next meal.
No.
And so, like, to me, it's like, even if you get people like yourself to switch, right? It makes it harder for the next person that comes is going to have a hard time. Like, it's just, and because there's so many of these, somebody has to fail.
Well, Concord failed pretty spectacularly. So.
I mean, but that's my point. And like, you know, and it's not like, oh, I need Concord to fail. It's like, think of $400 million. Think of what could have been achieved with that money that wasn't the Concord. And think about all the jobs that were lost because this was a bad idea from fucking probably the get-go. And
years of their lives wasted.
And yeah, you have nothing to show for it. Like, that doesn't look great on a resume.
No, that game is gone. Like, that game will never exist again.
You know, so it's just... It's depressing. Like, again, back to the conversation of, like, wanting to celebrate game design. You know, people who do good work worked on Concord. It was not... That game did not fail based on their decisions.
Mm-mm.
You know, people like Jim Ryan who are like, well, you know, we're going to invest more in live service. And Jim Ryan's gone.
Yeah.
Jim Ryan, no matter whether the live service succeeded or failed, was still going to walk away with a big paycheck. So that's the reason why, like, I do hope Marvel. I hope Marvel Rivals is successful. But at the same time, it's like, you know, think about how many haven't been successful up until this point. And think about how many jobs were lost that time. And it's just like, it's depressing to be in this fucking loop. Speaking of loops, Exit 8. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Marvel Rivals is a little different because
they have the Marvel license to fall back on.
It also has a big-ass Chinese company behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, there's a lot wrong with that, but yeah.
No.
Those companies are not great, man. They're not. I
mean, but we just talked about $400 million being...
Oh, I never said Sony was good. So, like, I'm not saying Sony was good. I'm just...
different. If people are getting paid and being paid fairly for the work they do, which is a problem with the game industry in general, I don't know enough about this specific company making this specific game to comment on that. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm not going to wonder. To me, it's like shitty companies are shitty companies. It sounded like you were saying because they were Chinese. Sorry.
No. It's that company is It's basically like a factory.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
like that's why I would worry for Marvel, right? But like you said, it's got the Marvel license. Seems to have Disney behind it. So
it seems to be okay. If you're saying it's like Overwatch and you're not like going it's shit immediately out of your mouth, I think that's a pretty good compliment for somebody who's played several lifetimes worth of Overwatch.
Oh yeah, I've put a little bit of time in that game. A little bit.
All right, talk about fucking Indy. That's what people are here for.
Indiana Jones.
I mean, they've already tuned out, so like they're probably just skipping ahead and being like, "When the fuck are they gonna get to Indy? It's goddamn hour in."
Indiana Jones. It's an hour and a half, sir.
Oh, yeah,
Mister, let's fuck around for an hour. We ain't even got to news.
Listen. Who gives a shit?
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the best Indiana Jones game ever made.
Not
a high bar, sure. It's also the best game Xbox has put out in years.
Also,
it is Machine Games' best game. Oh, you want to come at me now, right? Right?
That one's saying a lot. I don't know if I can get behind that, seeing as how all their fucking games are amazing. But continue.
And it's the best Indiana Jones story since The Last Crusade, which also, again, that's not a high bar. So let's be fair. I like the last two movies, but I do agree that they are not even close to the top tier of that franchise. This game is not what you think it is in the absolute best way. It is an immersive sim. It is a Dishonored or a Deus Ex. It is very much about exploring, having conversations with people, uncovering puzzles, traversing the world, doing different things. I very rarely ever shot a gun. I did punch a lot of Nazis with the Indiana Jones sound effect, which was extremely satisfying. The performances in this game are outstanding. There are times when I forgot it was Troy Baker, and that's the best compliment I can pay to his performance as Harrison Ford. The other characters in this game, there are three other kind of main characters, R.I.P. Tony Todd. But their performances are top tier. Like, this could have been an Indiana Jones movie. That's like how good the performances are. And they nail being Indy. From his little quips to his conversations to, like, every time you go in a cave to do a puzzle, it takes you back to not only the movies, but that feeling you had in Tomb Raider when you were like discovering different parts of things. It just feels fantastic. Like, this game is something else than everybody thought it was going to be, and it just works on every level that they tried to make it. Like, people were worried about the first-person perspective. It works. People were worried about the first-person combat, like fisticuffs. It works. Like, the whip is fun. Like, upgrades are done through, like, you find these books, and then you spend adventure points. You spend a lot of time in this game taking pictures, and it's fun. Like, this game is really good. Like, I don't know how else to kind of word it other than it's incredibly fun. Now, I have a couple of quirks. The first being, I feel like the stamina meter is a little kind of useless at times. Like I said, you can literally be climbing, and if it runs out, you just stop. And it refills really fast, so I'm like, well, what's the point of this? The stamina meter in combat is fine. Like, it keeps you from just throwing strong punches constantly, which that's okay. The cutscenes are a little... they have this weird frame rate thing that happens whenever a scene cuts. It kind of takes you out of it a little bit. Hopefully they can fix that. Because the rest of the game... It's also one of those games that doesn't have, like, a mode. So, like, when you go in, you don't have to pick between performance or resolution or super mode or whatever. It's literally just one mode, and it runs flawlessly. Like, it's 60 frames a second all the time. And it looks gorgeous. Like, the character models are amazing. Like, it really looks like Harrison Ford. And the world is interesting. You go to a lot of different environments. Some people are not so keen on the kind of like mini open world areas that you go to, but I enjoyed it. Like, there's places you can explore. I do wish the fast travel was a little easier. When you're inside a world, you can fast travel to any place you've been just by opening your journal and going there. So, like, if you want to go back to a previous area, you can just select it and go back. But when you're in the world, they're kind of big enough that I really wish there was a fast travel, and they use street signs, so like you can walk up to the street sign and fast travel, but you gotta find one, which is a little cumbersome at times. And like I said, the stamina thing where you gotta run from point A to point B, and then, like, you gotta stop and refill the stamina, just like that stuff feels a little off. But everything else feels great, and the game is just amazing. It's really sad that this game will be once again overlooked this year and next for Game of the Year. It'll definitely be in my top 10. 100%.
Machine Games doesn't miss.
They don't. They legitimately do not miss.
Give me a second.
I want you to know that when Bethesda reached out, because my quotes and score are going to be in some of the marketing materials, one of the quotes they used for my review is literally that. Machine Games don't miss.
I mean, let's talk about the games they've developed. New Order, Old Blood, the Quake Dimension of the Past thing for the original Quake being reissued. New Colossus, Young Blood, which is okay. Cyberpilot, which is the VR. The Quake Dimension of the Machine. Quake 2 Call of the Machine. Doom Legacy of Rust. Those are all WODs, or whatever you want to call them. And then Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. When your worst game is Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Which you only co-developed, by the way. It's not entirely them.
Oh yeah, Arcane Leon. That's right.
Yeah. It was a co-developer.
And they were also a co-developer on Cyberpilot. So yeah, yeah, those fucking games.
Dude, Indiana Jones is their best game.
My biggest issue with Indiana Jones existing as a game is just that we don't have Wolfenstein 3.
Oh, they're spinning up another team, so I think Wolfenstein is the next game.
So close to Hitler dying.
Man, I want to tell you, you know how every Indiana Jones game has a villain, and like the villain is almost as good as Indiana Jones in the movie. Voss is that character in this game. He is outstanding. Some of his lines are absolutely they make me roll. It is such an Indiana, and when you realize what the story is about, it goes back to the Raiders kind of feel, which this game literally takes place like a year after Raiders does.
Yeah, just want to say, like, the Machine Games founding team, which I'm going to butcher their name, so I'm just not going to say it, were previously employed by Starbreeze. They left during or after the creation of Syndicate, which is right as Starbreeze starts to go downhill.
So this game gives me a lot of Riddick vibes too, which is Starbreeze, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so like right after that, Starbreeze were made brothers, Tale of Two Sons. They did Payday 2, and then it's bad. Then it's Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Ugh.
Payday 3.
Payday 3 is hated by Payday players, which is hilarious to me.
It's worse than Payday 2. But yeah, it's just like the clearly the people that started Machine Game, because so criticals of Riddick. Criticals of Critic. The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, The Soul Under Kathina, and The Darkness are two of my favorite games of all time. Like, just weird first-person games that do not exist anymore outside of Machine Games.
Yeah, that's what Indiana Jones is.
Yeah.
It is not a shooter. It is not. It's its own thing.
The Darkness, I think, was the first game I finished on my 360.
Dude, I love The Darkness. That was such a great game.
And then The Darkness 2 exists. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
It's not Starbreeze The Darkness.
No, it's not. But Indiana Jones, I'm going to tell you that if you do end up buying a PS5, play this game. When it comes out there. Because I'm assuming you're not buying an Xbox, because there's not really anything to get other than Indiana Jones right now for you.
At this point, like I was kind of mentioning, I'll probably just wait till the next console generation. Like, what's the likelihood of them not having backwards compatibility?
Oh, they'll 100% have backwards compatibility.
They can't afford not to. With the price of games going up, you need that back catalog.
I feel like consoles going forward are now going to be more like phones, where they just do everything the old one does.
And, like, let's be honest, what can't I play that I would need to play, like, on anything, right?
There's a few things out there, but some of them maybe not for you.
Probably not going to go back to Spider-Man. I'm sorry. I know it's a petty thing to say, but I really can't get over that new face.
So I forgot to mention in the Discord chat, and I don't know if anybody else has interest in it, but I have an extra code for the thing, but I don't know if it's...
Let me know.
Xbox One. I'm pulling it up now. I think it might just be Series. I don't know. It's it works.
This is one thing I will say. Remember when we talked about how easy it was not to buy Hitman, because that was last week, and that is a similar complaint. How easy it was. Oh, you'll just buy a game and it'll work on stuff. So Microsoft, like, you go to the thing page, it says optimized for Series XS, smart delivery. You would assume, but like sometimes it says that and it's not available on Xbox One. The thing, however, is.
Yeah, they started. That's something new in the last week, that they automatically, every game says what it works on, including like phone, cloud, all that stuff. So yeah, this one says Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. So this one does work. So if you want it, let me know.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
The thing. So I can tell you the story of how I got the game. My dad worked in retail, and at the time, and I don't know exact because it's changed a lot since then. Yet we had a bunch of returned games. His thing was test them. So I sat there with my PS2 testing a bunch of PS2 games. And he ended up picking out some that I said I liked. The Thing was one of them, because I liked the movie. By that point, I'd seen the movie. It was like my first horror movie that I actually liked and wasn't like creeped out by. And that's how I got like Dark Cloud 2 and stuff like that. But The Thing was one of those. I think he got it for like maybe $10, if not less.
That game was so good. As long as you're playing the PS2 version.
PS2 version, yeah.
That Xbox version is terrible.
Not this Xbox version.
No, this one seems to have it fixed.
Fucking Night Dive. Night Dive
thing.
with their fucking black magic shit.
Dude, Night Dive should remaster every game. They're so good.
No, they shouldn't. Night Dive should remaster games that fit Night Dive's catalog, and then the other team that should remaster stuff is Digital Eclipse.
Digital Eclipse are gods too. I love those guys.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing that puts Digital Eclipse above Night Dive, in my opinion, is that I wish Night Dive had the documentary stuff too.
Oh man, that documentary stuff is so good.
Like, not even, sometimes you just don't have it. But like, I would love to see like the extra script, like the scripts they wrote for this. I'd love to see the pitch they made for this. Because how the fuck do you sell a Thing game? Like, when did it come out originally?
Oh my god,
2002.
Yeah,
which was 20 years after the film.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you pitch a Thing game in 2001?
I couldn't tell you, man. The PS2 era was a weird time, dude.
And it's a fucking CD game too, originally.
Yeah, it's a blueback. Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, let's wrap up with new releases and news.
Just do the fucking big ones. Let's not go through all the junk this time. I can't do another fucking...
What, the releases?
Yeah, just do the important stuff. I can't fucking do another week of hentai shit.
Okay, well, I'll skip over the Switch stuff. Indiana Jones is the big game this week, obviously, for everybody who didn't buy the premium upgrade. The regular version and the Game Pass version are out this week. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind are both out this week. That's kind of it for the big games. PS5. Yeah, I guess the physical version of Black Myth Wukong is out this week. But other than that, PS5 is pretty light. Was there a Switch game this? Is there any Switch games left this year? Mario and Luigi's out.
Give me a second. I think there's one more Switch games.
Taito Milestones 3 is out, which I love those collections.
I just wish they didn't cost as fucking much.
Yeah, they're very expensive.
It's not. They're not as complete, and they cost more than going and buying the Taito collections for like PS2.
Yeah, and those had like 40 games on them and shit. These have like.
And then if you bought the Xbox version, it was a different set.
Yeah. Fairy Tail 2 is out this week, which is kind of a big game.
Yeah, I'm looking. Let me see here.
Oh, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Archer McLean's Drop Zone 40th anniversary is out.
Yeah, I saw that. There's one of those egg console games, more pinball effects tables from Williams.
Victory Heat Rally.
Yep. Sonic X Generations, the Shadow the Hedgehog. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack, which is based on the Shadow stuff from the movie, is out this week. I don't know if that's free or not. I think it is supposed to be.
Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary is getting a physical release this week too. Which I don't know if you saw. I don't know if it's in the news or not. I haven't looked at the news, but did you see Limited Run Games screwed over Tomba players?
Yeah. The
didn't have the update on it.
Oh, it's gonna be updated, and then it's a 1.0 version.
Yeah.
Stop giving them your money. They are gambling on you buying it and never opening it.
All right.
Once is a mistake. Twice is like maybe still give them the benefit of the doubt. But when it's like 17 fucking times in a row, like it's just a habit. It's just a thing they do.
All right. Let's do.
That was it for games that were notable.
When I asked about the Nintendo thing, I guess I didn't realize that we literally have like 3 weeks left in the year, so it's not surprising.
Like one more.
I don't think there is. I think that's it. I think Mario Luigi was the last one.
I thought there was one after that.
I'm looking at the list here, and I don't see anything.
A remake or something. Give me a second.
No, I don't see anything.
I have to scroll down to December.
Yeah, I'm looking at December right now. It's very light, even for Switch standards.
I will say this. Resident Evil 2, the remake, is coming to iOS on the 10th.
Yeah, but those games don't sell on the phone.
I know, but hey, if you haven't played that and that's your only way to do it, I do recommend it. I fucking love that game.
Well, yeah, but like everybody should have a way to play that game. Come on.
Yeah, no, you're right. I guess No, Mario and Luigi was not the last one. Hold on.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's the last game. First party Nintendo game this year. I'm literally looking at the list. There's nothing else on here.
Well, fuck me then. Okay, alright. I thought it was,
Yeah. I'm already looking into January now, which Jedi Power Battle still cracks me up every time I see it. I can't believe that game's coming back. Alright. Let's do the news. New Game Pass games for the month of December. And into January even, Crash Team Racing Nitro Refueled, Forza Motorsport, Haunty, Humanity, EA Sports WRC.
Haunty. Is that the one that's it's Haunt and then 2 eyes at the end?
Yes.
So I've played a bit of that game. I'm not gonna say it's a little weird. It's like a sort of Zelda game, but it's got a bit of like Mario Odyssey to it.
I've never heard of this game.
You can sort of like possess things. It's weird. I
played this game.
That's coming to Game Pass?
Yeah, I played this. Well, it's coming to standard. It's already on Game Pass.
Okay. Well, I recommend it. It's a bit of a unique experience. I do like the art style.
I played this game. I remember playing this game now that I see screenshots. Like you're the little Grim Reaper dude and you...
Yeah. It's a very unique experience. I do recommend it. It's nothing I can recommend because I haven't played enough of it to be like, it's amazing. But like you do some puzzle solving with like, in a very similar possession mechanic to Mario throwing his hat.
Yeah.
Happy. And then... But then it's also got like combat that I'm not saying it's Souls-like, but you got your dodges and stuff. Very action-based sort of Zelda combat. Yeah,
it's the Dark Souls of haunting games. All right.
Yeah.
Overthrown is also coming. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Wild Frost, and then we go to January for Carry On and Road 96. But do not be shocked if there are some Game Pass announcements at the Game Awards this week. You can also get a new Indiana Jones dynamic background on your Xbox console, a new Fallout Elite Series 2 in the Xbox Design Lab, Xbox Indie Game Winterfest, December 10th through the 31st, and Forza Motorsport is getting ray-traced global illumination on the PC only, December 9th. PlayStation news, Sean Layden confirmed the official number of produced PlayStation 2 consoles is 160,636,885 for everybody who was paying attention. And PlayStation, for their 30th anniversary this week, updated the PS5, so now it boots up with the PS1 thing, which you should never take that away. You should leave that there forever. They say it's a limited time, though. And you could also theme your PlayStation 5 for any of the 5 generations now, either PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, or leave it PS5. Also,
think my PS4 is PS2 themed.
You should not take that away. Yeah, mine was PS1 themed.
But it's just, yeah, I don't know. I've never understood that limited. It's like what Nintendo removing the 3D All Stars.
Yeah, like why?
You know, I'd like to play Mario 35. Too bad.
You're not allowed. Donkey Kong Land 3 is now available on NSO. Tetris from the NES is coming to the NSO.
Is it? Do we actually have Donkey Kong Land 3, or is it still a mistake and it's actually Donkey Kong Land 2?
No, they've released them like one a week. So it's Donkey Kong Land 3.
Originally, when they announced Donkey Kong Land 2, it said Donkey Kong Land 3, but it was a picture of Donkey Kong Land 2, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's probably just they were releasing them one a week, which I guess for the Donkey Kong anniversary or whatever. Splatoon OST is now available on Nintendo Music. There was a leak of some cases for the Nintendo Switch 2. Also, according to rumors, there's pictures of the Joy-Cons out there. They have IR cameras, larger SL and SR buttons, and an extra button on the back that looks like a pedal.
Okay, can I just say, do we really need the IR sensor still?
Of course we do, because it's backwards compatible.
If the old Joy-Cons work, to me, I'd be like, just sell the old Joy-Cons then in like one color instead of producing IR sensors and everything. Maybe it costs nothing. I don't know. Just it's it's part of the tech that is barely used.
Miyazaki from Software is currently working on multiple projects which cover a wide range of genres. So he's going to literally make the Dark Souls of everything.
Cream too.
Nobody's ever making cookies and cream too.
I can dream, goddammit. Well, I guess they kind of did. The DS version is very different than the PS2 version. But...
the Tales of series 30th anniversary live broadcast is set for December 16th.
Ask me what I know about that series.
Dude, there's a lot of them. That's what I know about that series.
I don't know shit about that series.
Nosha is getting an anime in 2025?
Yes, it is. Don't know how the fuck that's going to work, but okay.
Tencent has acquired majority stake in Kuro Games, who made Wuthering Waves. What else we got here?
By the way, I looked up Donkey Kong Land 3, and yes, you're correct, it is available. Weird that they give you the Game Boy original.
You mean not without the color enhancements or whatever?
Yeah, because there was a color version in Japan that is basically the exact same game, but not.
Maybe if you switch your region, it's that version. Nintendo does weird shit like that.
Yeah, it's just weird because it's like they've given you all the Starfy games. Sorry, in Japanese it's Staffy games. So I don't know.
Sources have told Reuters that Ubisoft shareholders are in talks of a possible buyout.
You just fucking
from Gimo. They've been in talk with Tencent and other investors in recent weeks. Ubisoft. The little company that could, Evercade, has signed a partnership with SNK.
Okay.
They're going to be bringing their products through the Evercade system through 2025 and 2026.
Cool. I don't have an Evercade. I think it's a neat idea. I totally support people that love those things. I hope they keep making them.
Yeah, they're resilient, man. They just keep putting shit out. It's kind of crazy.
Little fucking consoles that could. And it's impressive with how much shit they can do.
Ilphonic has laid off some of its staff.
I had to look this up. Who's Ilphonic again?
They made the asymmetrical horror games like Predator and yeah.
Again, back to the statement, it's really hard to sell someone on something that's already out there. More so when you're the one that's making all the things. I'm not trying to be shitty. I think Ilphonic had a really good niche. Obviously, they got screwed on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
So, and it looks like they had a game called Nexuiz, which was their first game. And they were with THQ, so they got screwed on that too. But Friday the 13th, Predator Hunting Grounds, Ghostbusters, Killer
Clowns.
It's like, guys, like when the game is constantly the same, but the license is changing, and you're asking people to leave the same platform. You know what is a platform that just has all this stuff in it?
Dead by
Dead by
Daylight.
Daylight.
Yeah.
And listen, people complain about that game, and from my understanding, from what I've listened to, I understand their complaints. They totally broke it down in a way that makes sense.
Dude, how much do you hear me bitch about Overwatch yet?
Right, but my point is, they also stay within the ecosystem. Every time you like drop something, like, oh, we're done with Friday and we're moving on to Predator, not all that audience is going to carry over. Not all that audience is going to be interested in Predator, mind you. But like, then you're doing Ghostbusters. Well, again, you're the audience that likes this type of game isn't necessarily going to move each time with you. So I don't know. It's very disappointing. They have a really smart niche. To me, they would be better off without the licensing. Obviously, that's a big part of the draw. They'd be better off making a platform, because from the sounds of it, people really enjoy their games. I don't hear as many complaints as you would, as I do from like Dead by Daylight. So take that formula and make something your own.
You should follow the guy on Twitter that handles most of those games. That there's a lot of people bitching.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. It's just like every time you switch genre, the license too, like things change. So it's not like you can't necessarily even get better at the things you're not good at when you're just constantly leaving the last game and moving on to the next one. I'm not saying they didn't support it. It's just one of those things where it's like, again, it's not business savvy. It's we're suit makers and we make indestructible suits. Well, eventually you're going to stop making suits, right? Your audience is going to dry up. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I work too much retail. I just don't see how that's a beneficial thing.
It's clearly not sustainable, and I'll give you a point right here. Deceive Inc., developer of Sweet Bandits, is shutting down.
Yeah, and they had a different thing going for them, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Ubisoft is also ending support for X-Defiant.
No fucking surprise from Ubisoft, mind you.
Nope.
Like, how's their stupid NFT game going? Yeah, I don't give a shit about Ubisoft not doing well. And it's not because the developers are bad. It's just like Guillemot has to go.
Guillemot gotta go.
Like Eve need to leave. Guillemot gotta go.
I hope you weren't hoping to buy a physical copy of Victory Heat Rally. Because that is being published by Limited Run Games.
Well, you know what the sad part is? So I sometimes look into... so I'm on Reddit. I usually just look at news on there. There is a limited run... It's not Limited Run Games, but there's a limited... fucking... God damn it. Like all those fucking... boutique game labels. There's like a Reddit for those.
I like to call them Bodicue.
Bodicue. They're not even the worst, and that's what's really sad. They're not even the worst out of all these groups. It's just
they're the most popular by far.
Also, I hate to say this, but there's been enough times where the games get updated or later DLC because, you know, it's still successful years later that the dev like supports it with like a DLC a year later or whatever. And like the LRG version becomes pointless. Like I have Streets of Rage 4. I bought it after the LRG run. You know what I mean? Like it was popular enough where they got another label to pick them up and sell in stores. So it's just, I don't know. It's very weird. I don't recommend it. The physical games, they're great, but like, you know, at what cost? And you know, it's a year out, so like, if you want to wait, cool. But
two highly anticipated remakes for me, remasters. Excuse me, sorry.
It sounded like you just gulped air.
Well, I did, and then I spit it back out in the form of a burp. Two of the classic game remasters that I was excited for have been delayed to 2025. Those include Croc and Gex Collection.
All right.
A new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game called Tactical Takedown was announced from Strange Scaffold. It's only for PC, according to this.
What is it?
The Ninja Turtles strategy game.
Oh yeah. I think that's neat. It works.
I know people working on it, so
well to me because I was going at you because you're like, I don't know, like this is a little weird, and I'm like,
it was a little weird to like think about a tactical.
You have 4 very different characters,
Toidles
already built in. You already have a party. It is a little weird that they look like it looks like it's almost being played like a board game, but I can dig it. I don't care.
Well, we will definitely be checking it out, but I want you like we know somebody who's producing that game. Well, at least some of us do. So.
Yeah, I don't. I know who you're talking about. I've never been. I've talked to the man maybe once.
Oh, dude, I took a trip to San Francisco with him. Great dude. Love Mike. Mr. Futter. He used to be on the show. Like, he's working on that game, so obviously that's a disclosure when we talk about that game.
Yeah. Well, that's like somebody. I'm in the Discord for Stone Age Gamer, the podcast I listen to there, and somebody brought up iconoclasts.
Oh yeah,
tangentially related to like 3 steps removed, and I didn't put it on my game of the year list. And in hindsight, I regret not doing it because I feel like that game still needs more praise.
Oh god, yeah, that game is great.
But at the same time, I don't want to be the people that we call out, right?
No, 100%. I made it very clear when we talked about Iconoclast.
Yeah, we did.
I know the developer.
I'm not saying no one is. I personally could not put it on my GOTY list. It wouldn't have reached number 1 anyways, but it was just I didn't even feel giving it in the top 10 because it was like I just don't want to be called out for the stuff that I definitely call out other people for. Excuse me, 1 second. PSA. If they own a chair and they got it for free from the developer, don't trust them.
There was no Indiana Jones chair. Can you tell?
And there was no Indiana Jones chair, and yet their reviews were negative. Oh, not enough loot for you, you fucking goblins?
Oh, speaking of goblins, the next Overwatch 2 collaboration has been announced. Do you know what it is? Do you want to guess?
You said related to goblins?
No, it's not related. I meant people who play Overwatch are goblins. Think about the collaborations they've done so far. There's been a theme.
Anime.
Yeah.
Is it Naruto?
No, but you're on the right track.
One Piece.
They already did that.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Who were the characters for One Piece?
Did they? I thought did they do One Piece?
Hold on. They did
My Hero. They did Cowboy Bebop.
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry. I don't watch anime. Can you tell? This one's very popular.
I don't know, man. There's too many popular animes I don't give a shit about. No offense to anime watchers. I can't anymore.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
What?
Yeah, December 17th.
Okay, so first of all, weird pull because all of the other ones were actually Japanese and Avatar is not.
Yes.
Second, Avatar is a kids show for the most part. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing show, but it's just like that was a Nickelodeon show.
Yep.
You can play as Aang in kart racing.
So Zenyatta's definitely got to get a skin, right?
Hold on now. I want to see Avatar Overwatch.
Like the only teaser is just like you can see the arrow.
They've leaked.
Oh, they've leaked?
Yeah, I've got a picture. So, here's...
Okay, well, you can tell me. I don't care about spoilers.
Okay.
See, Zenyatta, I knew it.
Zenyatta is obviously Aang. So Kiriko is, oh my god, I cannot remember her name.
Of course Kiriko got a skin. She gets a skin every collab.
Is, who's the person with the drill?
It's Venture.
Venture is Toph. Cannot remember the name of the girl with Kiriko. I'm assuming that is Genji.
Yeah, that's Genji.
He is, oh my god,
I don't watch Avatar.
Firebender. And who is that in
the
background?
Orisa.
Oh, Risa. Okay. That's great. Oh my god, it works too. Oh my god, it works because Orisa is
the horse.
No, he's the yak. He's the flying.
Well, I mean, the character Orisa is a horse.
Well, she's a centaur.
Yes, she's
but
a horse.
The character that
we call her the
from
horse.
Avatar, it has 6 legs. The flying yak.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on, now I have to find out characters, and I swear to God, if you give me James Cameron. Kiriko is Suki. Genji is Zuko, and Orisa is Appa.
Okay.
And Appa has 6 legs, so that works perfect. Sorry, Sky Bison, that's what he is.
Yeah, I want you to know, like, the drama in the Overwatch community is that Venture has no skins. Like, this is their first skin.
That's a boring skin to have.
That's their first legendary skin.
Venture, I'm assuming Venture works mostly with, like, ground stuff.
Yes.
So that works because Toph is the earthbender.
Yeah. They dig underground and, like, yeah.
That works. That actually works a lot for Zenyatta. I mean, the Zenyatta skin is fucking perfect.
Well, I mean, he was going to be there. Yeah.
Well, but look, he's even got the arrow on his head.
Of course he does.
Our arrow. Well, you would hope, but listen, One Punch Man really phoned it in. It did.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, Collab really phoned it in. They definitely could have gotten more characters skins. So, there was 3?
I'm looking at the rest of the news.
The Doomfist one was great. Don't get me wrong, but
the Cowboy Bebop one was good.
Yeah. I just wish there was. Oh, fuck! The Transformers one could have been so much better.
The Transformers one could have been better. I do like the Optimus Reinhardt. That's still the best. I still have that. That's literally the only skin I've ever paid. Well, I didn't pay money for it because I had coins, but
the Transformers one should have gotten me back, and it just didn't because it was like, here's 7 people. Like, there's so many goddamn characters you can do.
Oh yeah, there was they've leaked the ones that were thrown away, which made me sad.
Reinhardt, yeah.
Ramatra's Megatron was bad.
Laurie? Who's a Laurie?
Laurie's a new healer. Well, relatively new. She's not.
And they gave her the RC skin?
Yeah, that was weird.
Over Farah?
Yeah. Farah had a skin, but they put it. I don't remember who she was.
Bumblebee Bastion is a bad call.
Yeah, but it kind of works.
No, it doesn't. Because there's literal characters who can turn into fucking tanks.
Yeah, he is one.
Ramatra's Megatron.
It's not good.
It looks like Ramatra with white paint.
The Reinhardt skin is great because his voice changes too. It's excellent.
Oh. Starscream for Farah would have been so good. No.
Yeah, Lucio was supposed to be Soundwave.
Yeah. Unicron for Wrecking Ball. You fucking threw Unicron.
Yeah. Wrecking Ball Unicron would have been so good.
Oh, and you even have oh god, what's Wrecking Ball's what's the
Hammond.
Name? Hammond could have been a Spark.
Yeah.
God damn it.
The Wrecking Ball as Unicron only works if the voice says a line from Orson Welles.
Yeah. Well, the best part is there's a guy that's still alive that does a perfect Orson Welles. The guy who voices Brain, Maurice LaMarche, because the Brain is literally just Orson Welles.
Yeah. Orson Welles' voice in that movie. Oh,
God, they just fucking fuck up everything.
All right, let's wrap this up. What else we got? Mai's coming to Street Fighter 6 on early 2025.
Booby SNK fighter?
Yes.
Okay.
We already talked about Gex.
I didn't know if they had their own Mai.
I think that's it. Oh, there's a rumor about Haze Light's next game. Launches March 6th, which I'm assuming is a Game Awards announcement. It's called Split Fiction, so I'm guessing another co-op game.
Look, I get it. They have a niche, and that's totally fine. Do you know how good of a fucking game engine you had with Goddamn It Takes Two? You have the nothing has felt as good as controlling a character. The best fucking underwater. God damn it, these fucking people. Ugh. Oh, it's so fucking good. And it's like, yeah, but you have to play it with someone else. Just make a single player game.
2 quick hits here. The Hunt 1896 is coming to Game Pass December 12th. And Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the first game to feature saves that work across Xbox, Windows Store, and Steam. I think that's it for the news. Well, the Fortnite thing. So Fortnite announced a new first-person 5v5 mode launching December 11th called Ballistic. It's a tactical FPS.
While Roblox still stands, I will defend whatever. Fuck! I wanted to say Overwatch. Fortnite does. I will defend whatever Fortnite does as long as Roblox still exists. Because both games are platforms, and then one of them is Roblox. I just can't stand by Roblox. Shitty fucking company.
Which is hilarious because that game is played in my house on 2 of the screens out of 3.
I just can't. I can't. The knowing that like they just use kids for fucking building shit and stuff. Like, ah!
All right, we have one tweet, then we can get out of here. This is an important tweet.
I'm sorry.
This is an important tweet. I want you to know that.
Does it say boobs?
No, it's talking about French fries.
All right, fair enough.
John writes in and says, guys, my stepson and wife told me that Wendy's has better fries than McDonald's. Straight up said McDonald's fries were trash, and that Burger King also has better fries than McDonald's. I know we are living in weird times, but what the hell?
So here's the thing. Depends on what type of French fries you want to have. I'm not a fan of like julienne fries, which are like thinner cuts. That is what McDonald's has. Here's the problem. And first of all, Burger King fries are fine, but Burger King fries are rarely hot. So
Burger King fries are always cold, and I know this is going to date me, but Burger King ran a promotion when I was in high school called the New Fries. Those were their best fries. And they got rid of those.
That's Burger King.
Wendy's, when Wendy's changed their fries to the fresh cut with the sea salt, like they got really bad. Like I do not like Wendy's fries.
They're not. I'd still prefer like those types of fries from somebody else. But if we're talking fast food chains, Wendy's fries are probably the most consistent.
See, I disagree. I think it's McDonald's.
Oh no, McDonald's! Fucking good lord.
McDonald's fries are literally crack in a box.
No, see, here's my issue. So I've had McDonald's fries not be salted enough. I've had them over fucking salted.
Over-salted fries are the worst. Yes.
Ugh. Fuck.
They're disgusting.
I've had them hot. I've had them cold, and it's
you've had them here. You've had them there. You've had them everywhere.
And I'm gonna shit on the floor if they give me cold fries again. It doesn't rhyme, but it's true. So like if we're gonna talk like at everybody's peak, yeah, McDonald's fries, when they're amazing, they're some of the best French fries out there.
Oh, 100%.
My issue is that rarely does that happen. Wendy's at least they're usually at least fucking warm. But usually hot. And
see, my problem,
I kind of know what I'm getting into because they're just cut potatoes.
My problem with Wendy's is that they're always stale when I get them.
That might be a States issue. I don't know. Maybe the Wendy's I go to, I'm like, yeah, mind you, I don't go to any of these places really anymore.
I barely ever go to Wendy's because like they talk about this fresh.
Right. Let's have a real conversation here between men. I don't have one anymore, but Five Guys has the best fries.
Dude, Five Guys is so good. Burgers and fries? But dude, it's so like a burger there is $14.
Yeah, but it's also real meat.
That's fair, but $14.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it for me, who's like a plain burger guy. Like I literally have a burger, and then because they were just using ground beef to cook patties.
I eat plain burgers.
Totally acceptable.
I only eat cheese on my burger. I don't put anything else on it.
At least, like I put mustard on mine. the mustard is not enough to carry. Like, a cheeseburger is legitimate. A mustard burger is not the same, in my opinion. Like, the burger needs to have a little bit of, like, flavoring to it when it's just ground beef.
See, I'm the man who likes the taste of ground beef.
We can have it so much better is all I think when I'm eating ground beef.
I like ground beef, man. Put some cheese on it, we're good.
But, like, their fries are amazing. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yes.
But, I mean, so is everything now, unfortunately. Like, order from McDonald's and order from Five Guys, and you'll see that the difference is not what it used to be, and the convenience. Like, at least they're cooking a fresh fucking burger, not pulling it out of the fucking freezer.
Oh, no, I understand that, but the price difference is very much there. Like, you can get a double quarter pounder at McDonald's for $6.50. A double cheeseburger from Five Guys is $14. That's a substantial amount of money difference.
Correct. But at the same time, to me, it's like, for what you get and the price difference, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's obviously a much better burger. I will never argue that. But it's very hard for me to spend $14 on a burger that I didn't get in a restaurant that, like...
Sure, fair enough.
You know, I sit down and actually eat it, you know, kind of thing.
I'm gonna throw one out here. The best fries, though, that you can get are, like, boardwalk fries, where they're, like, fucking just potato cuts, right? Oh, my God. The greasiest fucking things. They're handed to you in, like, a paper bag. Paper bag gets greasy at the bottom.
Oh, dude, when the bag is greasy, that's when you know that shit's good.
Like, you know they're cooked because they're fucking hot. Keep your fucking... They'll keep your hands goddamn warm in the winter. They just radiate heat. It's like, yeah, that's the shit. But, yeah, like, I don't know. I have better consistency with Wendy's. Even though it's not a place I go to much anymore, mainly for convenience, because, like, there isn't one convenient.
I'm gonna be real here. I just don't like Wendy's burgers.
That's totally fair. I like their chicken stuff. I've not tried their burgers.
Every time I get a burger from there, it tastes stale. I don't know.
They don't look appealing in comparison. Like, at least say what you will about fucking McDonald's burgers, but at least McDonald's, I'm like, I kind of know what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's the same. It's consistent.
I'm like, is these going to be, like, super flavorful or whatever? I gotta stop.
No, I mean, it's gross, but it's consistently gross. So.
I'm a chicken guy. That's what I usually get, chicken burgers.
They're called chicken sandwiches. There's no such thing as a chicken burger.
Well, fuck you. Chicken.
So I have to ask: have you got the chicken Big Mac?
No.
Why not?
No, why would I do that to myself? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Speaking of stale, like, every fucking chicken patty from McDonald's is awful. I
don't eat chicken sandwiches from McDonald's. Well, I eat the McChicken.
Let me run through their 3 chicken sandwiches. Again, I'm a plain guy, so McChicken is essentially a giant McNugget.
Yeah, it's $1. I think it tastes better. I don't like McDonald's nuggets. I'm just gonna say that.
Stay with me. I don't think McChicken is not $1. I think you're thinking the junior chicken.
It used to be $1 for a McChicken. It may have changed now, but here a McChicken was $1.
Junior chickens are the ones that don't have a sesame seed bun on them.
Yeah, that's right. McChicken.
No, the McChicken has a sesame seed bun.
Not here, it doesn't. It's just a plain bun.
The fuck? Hold on now. I don't believe you. I'm looking up McChicken, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What the fuck? In the States, it does not have a fucking...
I told you it doesn't have a sesame seed bun. It's just
what
McChicken.
The shit? Okay, so in Canada, it's got a sesame seed bun. A junior chicken has, like, spices in the coating.
Yeah,
those are like chicken sliders. Those are pretty good, but they're also cheap. There's a new McCrispy or something like that.
Yeah, the McCrispy chicken, yeah.
That is for people that like condiments on their chicken burgers. Not me, because that chicken tastes like water. Those are the 3 chicken burgers from McDonald's that matter. I'm sure there's one without coating on it. Yeah, I mean, they're all okay. Like, the junior chicken's probably the best for your money, because, like, man, I'm telling you right now, the fucking chicken in that, the spices, it's a little spicy, but not too much where it's, like, inedible, hot, whatever. It's, like, just perfect. McChicken is just plain. It's just a plain chicken burger. And then, like, yeah, the McCrispy is like, what if McChicken but worse?
I don't know. I have a controversial opinion about chicken, of who has the best chicken.
Who has the best chicken?
And the irony is that it's Burger King.
I do like their chicken nuggets.
I love their chicken fries, their chicken nuggets.
I don't like their chicken fries, but that's because I got somebody handed me burnt chicken fries once, and I've just never been able to eat them since.
I also am a fan of the Italian chicken sandwich, the long sandwich with the mozzarella and the pizza sauce.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Not a fan of cheese and chicken.
Yeah, I like that sandwich. I like Burger King chicken. I think they have the best chicken. As far as, like, if we're talking fast food jams. Well, I guess I don't consider Chick-fil-A in that conversation, but Chick-fil-A definitely has the best chicken because, well, it's fucking chicken. That's what they serve. But of the burger joints, then it's definitely Burger King.
My favorite is Harvey's up here, which is not American, I know.
No, I've had Harvey's. Yeah,
I know you have. Buffalo chicken burger. Yeah, man. Like, deep fry that chicken and then dump it in buffalo sauce. It's like perfect buffalo sauce. It's just a little bit spicy, but really tangy.
Now I'm hungry.
Me too. This is the most we've talked about food in a while.
Yeah, which we should do more often.
1,000 pounds. Ken is 1,000 pounds again.
Sometime this week, yeah, I'll be 1,000 pounds.
Again, it was only because I used to vape and cough, and I was like,
Fat pounds. Fuck over here.
And then, of course, like, Drew as well. It sounded like you're having, like, a southern meal.
Yeah, but now Drew's gone, like, 100% the other way, so now he's, like, he's, like, fucking super skinny, man.
I think he probably weighs less than me at this point.
Yeah, he's very, like, it almost, like I look at Drew, I'm like, bitch, eat a burger.
You okay?
Like, you need some fucking calories in your brain, or something. I don't know, man.
Get over the illness.
When I see people that skinny, I'm like, y'all need to eat.
Drew, funnily enough, Drew, like his wife, is also feeding for two, or eating for two, a Parasite.
Yeah. Like, Drew is not eating, man. Like, come on, man.
Drew's gonna listen to this and be like, go fuck yourself.
Fuck you guys.
He
I feel
great.
good.
I don't know why we're doing this to the man.
No, I'm happy for it. If that's what he wants to do, I'm all for it. I just look at him, I'm like, dude, you need a sandwich.
Well, it's one of those things where I think I had the opposite effect because I was 120 pounds. Well, I was 100 pounds at one point at 6'2", right? So, like, I looked like a skeleton walking around. Like, I'm pretty sure even the photo on the website is 7-8 years out of date.
Oh, my picture's like 15 years out of date.
So like the
only thing I've done is lost hair.
I was probably 120, 130 pounds there, and I'm closer to 200 now, which is more appropriate for my height. And at first, like, when you, like, even looking at myself, I was like, something's wrong when I gained weight, because it just, you look different, and it's like you can feel better and look different and still be upset. Just fucked up. But you know, I think that's just it with Drew. Like, he doesn't post enough photos of his face anymore because we don't hear from him or see him.
Yeah, because, you know, he had a baby. Like, nobody else on the show's ever had a baby.
And then we only get photos of his baby, which is preferred anyways.
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
Adorable. But you know, it's just, yeah, like, it's like you have an image of somebody in your head, and you're just like, Ken isn't 1,000 pounds.
I'm Jabba the Hutt. That's what I'm looking for as Halloween.
I'm telling you right now, when I started listening early on, if I had found out you had a fucking rascal and was driving around in one of those, I wouldn't have been surprised. It was because, I'm telling you right now, you don't understand how much your quitting smoking and coughing into the mic helped.
Dude, that was, I hate that shit. I hated that shit. Ugh.
I'm gonna Taco Bell after.
I'm gonna talk about Taco Bell. Yeah.
Gordino wrap. Like, all right, yeah, fucking.
Oh, by that account, I should have keeled over by now.
Listen, man, I'm glad you didn't. I was just thinking, like, man, these guys aren't gonna make it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm almost 50. I'm still
Let
here.
alone to make the poor decision of inviting me on this show.
Oh, anyway, that hour turned into 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Hey, look,
So
it was 2 hours of mediocrity. So no
I
different.
totally saved the Cheetahman song, so I'm definitely using that this
Oh
week.
fuck yeah, dude! You gotta use it for the beginning, and I think you should put it in the end too.
I'll
Normally,
put the
you don't
whole
have an
song
ending
in there.
song.
Like it's like 4.5
Yeah,
minutes of just do
but have
do
it like
do
don't like, just have it hard cut. Have it hard cut at like somewhere between a note, just so it, like we've been taped over top of the Cheetah Men song. That way they know what they're getting into with how bad this show is when it's just you and me. Righty then! Time for another week of ZTGD Radio, except in ZTG Radio now, and I said the unfold one. Whoops.
Cheetahman.
And then it's like, at the end, it's like, alright, peace, bitches, and then it's like, now they'll see it coming.
Yeah, you done ruined it.
Gotta throw a left hook. Just be the fucking song from like Ooze or whatever the fuck another Action 52 game was.
Oh god.
5-second fucking clip. Oh,
what's
god,
the oh god damn it. The nose, the hairy nose, what's big nose?
Big Nose.
Big nose. I need a song from Big Nose. I want to get the whole Action 52 soundtrack. That's what I need to do.
Play it all simultaneously over one another.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite
awful.
gags from the Aqua Teen DVDs is like, you know how there's always a play all button on DVDs? When you do that, it literally puts all 12 episodes on little screens and plays them at the same time.
Well, that was a joke, didn't they? I think they, because I listened to 30-20-10, they were talking about it. Wasn't one of them, they're like, we're playing the whole movie on Adult Swim. And they did, except that the screen got slightly smaller and smaller.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Into the corner, so you were starting to have to watch in the corner, and there was something else playing.
Yeah. That sounds right. Those guys are great.
Well, they announced, because originally the premiere of Squidbillies was going to happen, and they played some shitty anime parody instead.
That goes back to the South Park Cartman's father episode, and they ended on a cliffhanger, and then when they came back, it was a whole Terrence and Phillip episode for a half hour.
Amazing.
So they didn't tell you who Cartman's father was.
Perfect. You fucker!
It was literally a half hour Terrence and Phillip episode. People were so pissed. Craft dinner? You have your craft dinner? We're searching for treasure. Oh, anyway. That's it for this week. We've got... Let me look at the calendar. I gotta know this.
Shut your fucking fucker.
Probably 2 more episodes this year?
Yeah.
So,
maybe 3.
It depends on if anybody's available.
I'll be available. Wait, which one? 22nd or 29th?
29th. Sometimes we just skip the end of the year, but yeah, we'll see.
Look, all right, here's a more emotional stuff at the end of the podcast, because you already heard me talk about like one thing I will say, and kind of the reason why like I didn't want there not to be a podcast this week is like when I used to work overnights, and I'm sure other people out there like listen to us as they work, I know what it's like to kind of be like, and it's Christmas seasons, now I have less to listen to.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
Look, if I brought you even the minorest bit of joy, please don't hate me. But you know, I want you to I want to make sure, you know, they have something, because like I do appreciate not only what like the listeners themselves, but like what this podcast helped me through, because I'd moved to a fucking different city and started working overnights, and I did that for 6 fucking years. And the first year I started in December, so like, you know, it was like, hey, you know, it's that or listen to the fucking Christmas music on the PA.
Man, I hate Christmas time when there's nothing to listen to.
Ask me how. Well, and that's just it too. Like, even if you listen to your radio stations, where people are going on trips and stuff, and I'm not blaming people for doing that, but I'm not. So, if I can give you some content and help fucking make one person's day slightly better, I will be around for those shows even if no one else is. So I'm down for it, Ken, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Obviously,
I'm always down for it. You know me.
Yeah.
I think I've missed
right.
one episode.
Yeah, and I was on the episode, I think.
Yeah, I've missed one episode in like 20 years.
Drew hosted.
So, come at me, bitches.
Where's your Cyberpunk chair?
Yeah, I don't have a fucking Cyberpunk. Although I do have E-Win racing chairs. I have lots of those.
It's a bit different when it's, an actual chair company and not like paying for people to give good reviews. Hey, we got everybody.
Dude,
boys.
I don't know if this is what caused the problem, but like I saw a lot of places got that deluxe edition Indiana Jones set.
Yep.
I didn't get one, just so you know. I literally just got a code, which I'm fine with because the only thing I care about is playing the game.
So. You think inside the boxes were just notes going, go fuck yourself, and that's the reason why they got that review?
Maybe. They talked about how good Flight Simulator was. So they couldn't say anything bad about Flight Simulator because they took him to the Grand Canyon and let him fly a plane.
No, they did not.
Yeah, they did.
Can I... Yo, the industry's in shambles. Cut your marketing budget on these fucking losers. Look. Now I'm going to be pissy again. When I tell you a game is good, please know that I am being honest with my opinions, and my opinions may change, but not once has anybody ever offered to fly me in the Grand Canyon. And if somebody did, I would say fucking no. What is this? What is this?
I don't know. But when I heard that happened, I was like, okay.
Also, I'm just gonna say it. Fucking wow, that PR could have been a fucking disaster. Man died in Grand Canyon during a plane flight that he was not well equipped for. He was
well, they had a pilot in the plane with him,
and he was a known video game reviewer
with a nice chair.
Yeah, no, the picture is of him in front of his video game collection. In the in memoriam section.
I want to do a picture of me in front of my video game collection, which is just a mini PC.
I mean, I can, unfortunately, so I can't talk too much, but I just don't because no one gives a shit.
No, nobody cares what games you have.
The only time I show pictures of any of my collection to people is when they don't believe that I bought CDs, and then I show them the wall.
Anyway, it's time to go. I need food. We talked about French fries.
I think I'm gonna see if I can cook some chicken and dump it in some Frank's Red Hot.
There you go. If you want to email us, it's podcast@email. I fucked that one up.
Yeah. Send us an email at Ken. Insert email.
Podcasts@ztgd.com.
Start thinking about games that you think are important for reasons other than just being good, because I think that's just a review at that point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kick you guys into gear pretty soon for Game of the Year. Let's do that.
Again, I'm probably just gonna have some nice stuff to say about Sandland because I just didn't spend enough time with things that came out this year to really be able to talk about this year in full. I played some stuff, don't get me wrong, but I think I've played I pulled a Drew for the first time and played maybe 10 games from this year.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to whittle my list down. Lots of good games. Yeah. Also, if you want to message us on one of those sites, you can skeet or tweet at us at ZTGD Radio.
We need a better name than Skeet, please, God.
Man, they picked it. I didn't pick it. I hate it.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Skeet, skeet, skeet. Anyway, that's it. Get out of here.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.